I had a good job until my boss accused me of stealing. I better call Saul.
I was out partying, minding my own business.
You are under arrest.
I'd better call Saul.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do, and so do I. I believe that until proven guilty, every man, woman, and child in this country is innocent. And that's why I fight for you, Albuquerque.
Better call Saul.
How about we get him a real attorney? I mean, what the hell is this? This is who he hires?
What? Are you kidding me? This is the guy you want. Dudes like Houdini. Seriously, when the going gets tough, you don't want a criminal lawyer, right? You want a criminal lawyer.
I need you to pick up that bag and get it to me as soon as possible.
You know how thick the crap storm is out there because of this? I told you not to use that lawyer. He's a hack.
Shut up, Saul, and get the bag.
Starship Enterprise had a self-destruct button. I'm just saying.
Christ. Some people are immune to good advice.
Don't drink and drive, but if you do, call me.
Well, what did you think of the new opening in honor of the name of this episode, Breaking Bad?
It was great. Could have gone on forever. Why not? Right?
Yeah. So I'm probably going to get a couple of copyright claims on that, but I don't care. Yeah. So, but yeah, holy crap! Like this was once again. This did not. I was expecting a full Saul episode. This was a mix of Gene and Saul together. So
yeah, I completely unexpected, but who cares? It was fantastic.
I agree.
It was great.
So without further ado, welcome everybody to a new Nerdporial after show talking about, well, Better Call Saul episode 11 titled Breaking Bad. So before we go any further, I just want to let the chat know if you have a question for me or Steve, put at Nerdporial Lifeform or at Prophet of the Dragon. That way it will be highlighted. And we will take notice of it and we will, address it. So that would make it easy. So, at gmail.com, same idea. So, but I thought the beginning of this episode was pretty. I thought the first couple scenes were so good. And we're getting little nibbles of, what happened, especially with regarding Kim. And all the blowback from Breaking Bad. So
yeah, no, it was good. It was good just seeing the whole. I always forget this. I don't know why I forget her name.
Francesca.
There you go. She's in the car just looking around, like still paired. You can't really tell how long it's been, but deal with those two jackasses in the apartment. It's just like. And then she's just driving, and then she's sitting. It's like, what the hell is going on? But she's still obviously looking over her shoulder, right? And then, it was. It's like you said. I don't know. They keep surprising us in a good way. Like I didn't expect this to be sort of meshed together like it was, but it was great.
Yeah. I thought. I'll be honest. I've been rewatching Breaking Bad the last 4 days, so I'm already on season 4. So I've been taking a close look at Saul. Wow. Whenever they show Saul Goodman's Cadillac, I've been taking a close look at the license plate.
Yeah.
And I was watching season 3, or maybe it was season 4. I'm not sure, but it said 2010 on the license plate. So that moment at the very end of episode 9 was probably shortly after you know, shortly after the end of Better Call Saul. So
Yeah,
2005.
I guess I'm gonna. That's great. Obviously, you're burning through it. If it's been 4 days and you're season 4, man, have you done anything but watch Breaking Bad?
Well, I've been working on my Ocarina of Time retrospective.
Yeah.
I finished writing it, but now I'm recording it. I wrote 40 pages. Excuse me. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. So, but before we go into it, I want to say hello to the chat. So let's see who's here. So we have Electric Ninja 01. Is this episode done? I don't know who this Prophet of the Dragon is, but
yeah, who's that guy?
Loner Shark is yo, where's the stream, bitch? So what happened was I was watching AMC, I was streaming, so I had AMC Plus, but I was streaming AMC itself. So I was watching the episode live with commercials. So this was a 57-minute episode. So the commercials, there was a lot of commercials. There were so many commercial breaks. Like there were 7 scenes.
Like it was crazy. So like funny story, because like there were a ton of commercials, right? And I saw what time it was, and I saw what time the stream was scheduled for. I'm like, is my live channel off or something? So I went looking on AMC Plus, and they had everything uploaded. So I just like skipped to where the commercial break went, finished the episode. And then the commercial came back off, and there it was. I'm like, oh, hey, I guess I finished early. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy. The commercial break seemed to be huge this go around for some reason. I don't know. It took forever.
Yeah. So who else we got here? We have Henry Lemoyne came back. What's up? Garcia 71. Judo Joker. Wow. Yeah. Judo Joker is my Mike Ehrmantraut. Wyatt Kern. What's up? Got TD. TD is here. What's up? Silver Trout sings. Jesse Ehrmantraut. We have Richard Prono. No Walt Jr. or Lyle. 0 out of 10.
No Lyle. Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, this is already 0 out of 10. No Lyle. No Harrison Thomas in this episode. We got Diego Jose S. Jaime. Nice. This might end bad for Gene. It's looking that way.
It's looking that way.
I saw the preview, and I think one of my ideas was that Saul didn't get caught. So that's he's either going to get caught. Well, I think it's probably going to get caught, but it's like, did he do something worse than just get caught breaking and entering? Yeah, and of course
he didn't kill the dude.
Yeah, and of course we have W. Franklin here. Says this episode wasn't good. Well, we'll get into that. So Magic Ace, howdy. And we have Steve O'Shea. Nice. High five for the episode or not? You know, I liked this episode. I felt for being the third to last episode, I felt that I think we needed a little more Kim, a little bit more Kim, but we did find out something at least.
Yeah, it's one of those. I get who was it that said it wasn't good? Franklin, W. Franklin. I get why. No, that's not who it was. Who was it that said they didn't like it?
W. Franklin.
I get it. Yeah, so it was W. Franklin. I get it. It was sort of I don't know. It felt a little. I don't think long's the word. The commercial breaks didn't help that, but
no,
there were points where it just sort of dragged a little bit. It was definither like,
I felt like
some of it could have been like, okay, let's get, come on.
I was like another scheme and stuff. I'm like, we saw a scheme last week. I mean, I kind of want to wrap up the story, but I guess the scheme is necessary to wrap up the story.
Well, I think this was I think this was all to set up what happens next week at the beginning, which it's pretty much filler. I mean, which sucks, but I think this episode seems to be. It gave you a few little Breaking Bad flashbacks, which, you know, to be honest, I felt was just like a little bit cheap. I would have rather like had. I don't know what I was expecting from Saul or not from Saul, from Walt and Jesse's return, but it didn't. I don't know. It just felt like here's Remember Berries a little bit. I don't know.
You're kind of like weird. Yeah, because the thing was they said if it didn't serve the story, they weren't going to put them in there. Well, we all thought that they was going to serve the story, so that's why they put them in for a few scenes. So
yeah, it was just sort of like, oh, they're in the camper. And I'm sorry, like, gosh, man, I can't remember anybody's name. Walter White, actor.
Bryan Cranston,
and Aaron Paul looked. Didn't. I wish they did something to make him look a little better. He looked old.
Yeah,
He looked really old.
That's what happens when you're one of the leads in Westworld. It does that to you.
It probably ages you quite a bit. I didn't watch Westworld past season 2, but
same here. So
he looked. Bryan Cranston looked fine. He looked like he could have been still playing Walter White.
He was. I don't know. I guess he didn't shave it. I don't know if he shaved his head because he was wearing the hat. Yeah. Did he take it off? I forgot if he took it off.
No, he didn't take it off. I don't think.
Yeah, because what they had to do was they had to air them in secret, like in the middle of the night to Albuquerque, so that no one would find out. This was like I think 2020. So like when the pandemic started, so it was one of the earliest things that they did with this season. So
yeah, but Aaron Paul, like he fit right in. I didn't skip a beat. Aaron Paul was looking a little rough.
So we got Mike 87 here. Mike 87 Kush. Well, welcome. I think this is the first time I've seen you here. That dude with cancer is going to be dead, and Gene calls the police and dips out. That's an interesting theory. Keep this in. We'll keep this in mind next week. We'll see what happens next week.
So that's my worry is and I think he didn't wear any gloves either to open up the door.
Oh no, he didn't. That's right.
So I think he's going to be either. I hope that now this sounds bad. I hope it's just he dies from the dose of water and not like he gets caught and Saul kills him.
I don't think. I don't think Saul killed him.
I hope not.
He's never killed anyone in either show.
But he's unhinged, man. It's like he's completely losing it. So
yes, he is. I've noticed that. Like it's funny that the other two guys, especially I forget Jeff's buddy's name, so I just wrote him down as Buddy. Yeah. He's like, I can't do this. Like, come on, I still have this thing called conscience, So. But yeah, it looks like I agree with Timothy Coombswell. Welcome. The first time I've seen you here. It says doing Gene dirty with that foreshadowing. yes, it is.
Yeah, he's in deep doo-doo.
And we got Benji, the dog himself. I'm assuming it's the dog. I think the intro deterioration is Jimmy's morality in season 1. It's sort of going, but in this episode, it's absolutely colorless, reflecting Gene's conning the guy with cancer. Yeah, I agree. And we got, whoa, what is this? Another one. Welcome. It's Gene Breaking Bad again. He's turning back into Saul. How did you not like this episode?
Well, it's hard to. It's not that I do like. For me personally, I enjoyed it, but it's definitely on the bottom of the season for me. It felt like I don't know. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it wasn't top tier Better Call Saul for me. It was just sort of like lacking something, and it definitely felt the most like. Okay, we gotta draw this episode out and set up the next two, or next one specifically for me. But that didn't take away from my overall enjoyment. I enjoyed most of it, but it's just like I was hoping for like I guess ramping things up a little bit, see where we're gonna go. But I don't know. Agree or not? I don't know. I liked it, but it definitely is not a favorite of the season.
Okay. And we got Dane here, another new face. Welcome. I think the flashbacks are supposed to show that Gene wants to be Heisenberg. He feels jealous because he played such a big role in Walter's success. That's a very interesting, that's a very interesting theory. Keep that in mind next week when we see the rest of the show come together. So what I think is we're going to see more Jesse and Walt in the next couple episodes, probably maybe 1 or 2 more scenes. I don't know exactly. So, but that's pretty cool. So,
well, I know somebody said I don't know that it's the worst of the season, but because that's a high bar. I mean, it's just one of those like saying something's the worst in this show is not like saying it's terrible by any means. It was still great television. So, I don't know. So maybe on rewatch, it'll be I'll feel a little bit different now that I've watched it through once. But I'm not by any means saying it was bad television or bad. It didn't amp me up like some of the other ones. I guess I don't know the best way to describe it.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, like they have 2 more. I mean, they have 2 more episodes left. They kind of have to. We got to learn about Kim and what's going on with her. And I was just waiting for more information, maybe even more information. We did get an info dump on like what happened to a bunch of the characters that were kind of left hanging at the end of Breaking Bad. Like is Huel still being detained by the DEA?
Yeah, we got the
Well,
Sky.
we got the answer to that question.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we got the
what's
Skylar.
not to like about that? Oh, we
the
hear about Skylar.
We heard about Skylar, and obviously we know how Francesca's doing. Not great. So, but
Yeah, we didn't hear about poor Marie, but nobody likes Marie.
no Lyle.
Schrader.
No, we didn't hear how Lyle's doing. So
Or Lyle. Yeah.
So
what's funny is they had in Breaking Bad was the female manager that was running Poyos, and she was the one that actually tried to confront the cousins when they were just like, they just showed up. They show up in season 3. They're like, we want blood, and they're waiting for Gus to okay it.
Yeah.
So of course that's where Gus says, go after Hank. Go after Hank. He's the one that shot Tuco, not Walt. They want Walt.
That was a good. I remember that.
So, but before we get into it, I need to read super chat that was left for me earlier by Durkown for €5. Really enjoyed last week's stream. Looking forward to this one. We'll have to watch the recording about a half a week late. Greetings from Deutschland. That's German for Germany. And once again, Dankeschön Durkown. I hope I said it right. So he says, hope the early super chat doesn't slip through the system. It did, but I saved this. I starred these chats to remember them on StreamYard. So you're covered. So
there we go.
And so without further ado, let's get into this episode. So once again, everybody, if you have questions, put at Nerdporial Lifeform or put at Prophet of the Dragon for either of us. Okay. And if you want, if you want to, another way to get our attention is to, put in a super chat. We'll see those right away, and those will be addressed right away. So those get first priority.
I have to say, chat's already humming tonight, so looking forward to it. You guys are killing it already. So keep those chats coming, guys. A lot of I've seen the spectrum of opinions, so that's awesome. That's always awesome to have. It's nice to be able to talk about this stuff, and maybe by the end, so some of us will think differently of the episode, like it more than we already liked it, or okay, it wasn't as good as we thought it would. Probably is going to be like it more than we liked it. If anybody was feeling lukewarm about it, we'll see.
All right. So without further ado, I took how many pages of notes did I take?
Oh man,
over 5 pages this time because there was a lot to.
Are you keeping track of like how many notes per episode you've taken?
Well, what's funny? I'm almost at the end of the line with this notebook. I only have like 3 pages left, so not even enough for an episode. Maybe enough for one more episode. So I'm going to have to do my notes for the finale in a completely different notebook. So.
Retire the Saul notebook and start a second one.
Yeah, I think everything here is Saul. Yeah, episode 4.
That's awesome.
Actually, no. The first thing I took was notes for watching Forbidden Planet for my Forbidden Planet video last year. So,
gotcha.
And then Alien and Aliens and Dirty Harry. So yeah, so a lot of the videos that I already did, I take notes for those when I write. So, all right. So without further ado, let's begin what I was watching. So AMC ended the Shawshank Redemption. So we get to see Morgan Freeman's character reunite with Tim Robbins' character, Andy Dufresne. And it's such a happy ending.
It's always a good way to start another show, just watching the end of Shawshank Redemption. Can you go wrong with that? I mean,
no. It's just like makes every time I watch it, it makes me emotional every time.
It does, yeah.
They meet up. You don't know what they say, but they meet up at the beach, and it's just a beautiful ending.
It's almost cheating. You get to see them embrace, and then it's like, all right, let's watch the next show. It's like, I'm good for the next half hour.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So, but we're not here to talk about Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, sorry.
We're here to talk about Better Call Saul, episode 11, Breaking Bad. So. And we get a previously on this time, and they basically show all the footage from Nippy from last week. I was like, "Oh, is this going to be another Gene episode?" This was what I was kind of worried. I thought we were going to see, like, if they're going to do a better, previously on, we were going to see, the Saul Goodman segment, because I thought this was going to be a pure Saul episode. I was wrong. So,
yeah.
So without further ado,
I thought,
let's get this going. So we're in the first scene. Saul is tied, or actually no, yeah. Saul is tied. He's hogtied. He's captured, and we see chemicals in this place that he's he's tied, and he's struggling on the floor. And of course, we know that it's when Walt and Jesse kidnap him in season 2 of Breaking Bad, the Better Call Saul episode. And of course, he's trying to speak Espanol. Of course, we see the bullet holes, confirming, the 5 bullet holes in the RV door to confirm that this is Breaking Bad territory. And he's like, it wasn't me. And of course, they take him outside. He's like, it wasn't me. It was Ignacio. And then, of course,
Ignacio.
Yep. And of course, then after that, it goes to the opening, which we see. I think we see a little bit of a turntable. At least I think it was a turntable, a record. And then it goes blue.
Yep.
And then I think we see a little snippet of the crossroads from last week. I was like, I put that in a question mark because I was like, is that it?
So you get the crossroads, and the crossroads is in this episode as well. Obviously, it comes right after it. So.
Okay, there is a question I do want to address. Loner Shark asks, they canceled Talking Saul. They did one for episode 7. You sure they're not doing one for the finale? Oh, I think they're going to definitely do one for the finale. Oh, they're absolutely going to do one for the finale.
I think I don't know how they're deciding what they're doing them for, but they're doing them.
They usually do. I mean, back in season 3, and I'm not sure if they did one in season 4. They usually do they don't do, like, unlike Talking Dead, where they do an after show every week. They do the first episode, the premiere, and they usually do the finale, the season finale. So it's the same. Since episode 7 was kind of a season, half season, mid-season finale.
Yeah, mid-season finale.
Okay. So that's why they did one for episode 7. So but that's what I think. So going back. So now we're in scene 2, and it's black and white. But this time, I'm like, who? I'm like, we see a plunger going back and forth, and we find out that it's Francesca, and she's plunging a sink. And she says, I think she's in this apartment of these 2 dudes who are just like, doing dope, and they clogged the sink with dope or something, and they're watching like cartoons. I didn't get an idea what the cartoons were.
It was, oh gosh, I know what cartoon it was too. I wanted to try. I should have been taking notes, man. I should have taken.
It was 2010. So whatever it was,
I know what cartoon it was too, and I freaking was so proud of myself. And then I just forgot. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to bring that part of the episode up.
Okay,
Dang.
So before going further,
Jackie Chan Adventures. That's it.
What was it?
Jackie Chan Adventures. Lone Shark got it. That was it.
Oh, that was Jackie Chan Adventures?
It was, gosh. Yes. Sorry.
You know what's funny? I never watched it. I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
It was terrible. But really, I mean, whatever. It was whatever. Sorry.
You know what I did see like a few months ago? I finally saw Police Story from 1985. The one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's actually a freaking awesome movie. It's like Jackie Chan just like jumps on on a cable, and he slides down the cable at the mall at the end. It's just ridiculous because it was real. Like he was really doing it, and there were sparks going all around him. He was burnt. He did like I think 2 or 3 times.
He's a nut. He's crazy.
Yeah, and
he's awesome.
And if you watch like all the ends of his movies, like he's very particular about what happens in his movies. So like if you fuck up, he will yell at you because if you mess up in these type of movies, you could get really fucked up. And so he doesn't bullshit around with that. So even though he might come off as lighthearted in his movies, to work with him.
Oh no, he's a master of his craft. He's nitpicky, and he does all his own stunts, and he wants it right. So I'll be right back 2 seconds.
All right. And so okay. And I want to say thank you to the Media Monitor for subscribing to Nerdporial Lifeform. Welcome to the continuum, as I always say. So let's see. So let's keep going. So they're calling, so the dudes in the apartment are calling her Narca. So it's like, okay, so I'm like, okay, she's the landlord to these clowns. So with all that top down, so this is what I think is going on. So the reason why I don't know if she's always had the building, but I'm assuming because of the fact that she was paid top dollar by Saul, like quite a bit, by like quite a bit, she's probably earned so much money that she's invested into owning a building. So that's why she's the landlord. And of course, the way she's a landlord is the same way she's Francesca, or same way she works for Saul. She's like, you want this? Do it yourself. And they're like, we pay rent. Well, I don't care.
To be
I don't
fair,
care.
those
It's not
guys,
that hard to do.
Those guys were.
Oh,
Let's be fair to Francesca. I would have been treated them the exact same way.
oh yeah,
Those
they
guys deserved
were
every bit of it.
assholes. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
assholes.
But I find it. Even if she bought the whatever it is, the complex, or she's running it or whatever, I was sort of under the impression. I thought she had owned it when it first started, but it made me curious because I don't know if she's just used to getting the money and she just wanted the extra money. But I found it interesting that she went and did that, so she can't be doing that well if she's willing to take that risk to get money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So she may be doing okay, but I don't know that she's rolling in it anymore.
Yeah, so let's keep getting it. Let's keep going. So so she tells those guys to to unclog their sink. She goes to the car and she drives, and we see Will Oakley and Associates. So now he's a practicing defense attorney. He has his own firm now. He practices his own defense attorney. He's no longer the public prosecutor or assistant DA or something. So I thought that was a nice little egg right there. He has his own little ad on the bench.
Yep.
Kind of like Saul did. So I'm guessing he took a few cues from Saul's.
I'm assuming he filled the void when Saul left. He's like, "This is my chance," and he just like took over all Saul's business.
Exactly.
Is what I'm thinking. But
smart
man.
So I want to say hello to a few new faces here. Say hello to Glucose Guardian. Is that Kirby? Is that Kirby on your?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Just beat Kirby's. I forgot what the newest one.
Forgotten
Land.
Forgotten Land. Yeah, that's it.
And I've got True Vision here. Gina's tripping to back to the guy's house and break the door. Stupid. Yeah, I agree. We'll get to that.
He's freaking unhinged, but yeah, we'll get there.
And we got Corey the Norm. Turns out Gene was cyber stalking his ex for years.
Yes, that was crazy. It's just like
that's weird.
Florida too, but we'll get there. Sorry.
So you're kind of wondering. I'm just. I know I'm getting ahead, but I'm curious what was said because we don't hear the conversation.
No,
and we just see him react to it. So
well, and I was listening so close because there's a few portions for when like he's yelling really loud and the trucks go by. You could sort of hear him yelling. I'm like, what's he saying? What's he saying? And then another damn truck goes by. You're like, dang it! I didn't get any of it.
Yeah, same here. Stupid truck. So it's not like they didn't do that on purpose, you know.
Oh, of course they did. Yeah,
of course they did. So, so she turns up at a gas. So, so she's driving and she's obviously paranoid of being followed. So, so she sees a car that's following her. So, and she's continually looking back until the car just kind of goes off into another direction. And let's say, well, she turns up at a gas station at 3 p.m. and she's waiting. Then she hears a payphone ring. She answers. It's Saul. For a second, I thought it was Saul, but no, it's Gene. It's Gene, and he guides her to whatever he promised. And of course, she's like, I'm gonna hang up. Blah blah blah. He's like, don't hang up. And she follows. Like he guides her to like a something that he buried, something that he promised buried. So she finds a fish line. She pulls it and finds a bag.
Very
and
elaborate.
The bag has some dinero. That's Spanish for money. And he's like, yeah, the rat. I was like, are the rats going to eat it? No, the rats didn't eat it. So
yeah, it was a pretty high hiding spot. His paranoia levels are through the roof.
Yes,
and maybe for good reason, but he is but through the roof for all those steps. It wasn't under a rock, or it wasn't like in a pipe. It was like, I mean, that was a lot to keep that hidden. That must have taken a lot of work.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. So so we find out. So we get like so he asks her like, is it still hot? And then she's like, yeah. And then she goes into a nice big, info dump, which was something that kept me on attention right away. So she says that her phone clicks, her mail's opened, and she name drops Skylar. So Skylar got a deal. They're looking for Pinkman. Pinkman's gone.
Ron found his car at the border.
So they're either after Pinkman or Saul. So Pinkman's gone. So I'm guessing they're after Saul now. The nail salon is gone. Yep. Heck, the laser tag is gone. He's like, even the vending machines? Yep, vending machines are gone too. It's like the feds got it all. So
like it hurt. Gave up his offshore account too. I was just like, oh.
Yep, the
ouch.
Tigerfish Corporation. She had to give up $850,000. She gave it up to the feds. And he's like, how's Kubi? And of course, Kubi is Bill Burr's character. She's like, no idea. Huel went back to New Orleans.
Yeah, got off.
He's
good
off
for
the,
Huel.
He's no longer being held by the DEA. So that's good news, right? That's good news. And then, of course, he mentions Danny. I think Danny was the one that ran, because I watched Breaking Bad. I knew who Danny was. Danny was the one that ran the laser tag. Danny, because in Breaking Bad, they want to buy the car wash. And Saul's like, not a good idea. You don't have a Danny. You don't have someone that will, run the business and look the other way. Because, Mr. Eyebrows or Bogdan will not do that, would never do that for them.
No.
But of course, Walt buys it because he freaking hates Bogdan. He buys it because just to spite Bogdan. And of course, that and Skyler was kind of Skyler's like, I'm a bookkeeper. It would make more sense if Walt wanted to buy the car wash than to buy some laser tag. so Saul really wants to get rid of the laser tag.
You think about how much good advice they ignored in Breaking Bad because they thought they were smarter than everybody involved. And it's just like, no.
No. So, what else we got? So, best one line. I know. I think Judo Joker said it earlier. So Bill Oakley has come out on the other side, or Francesca says Bill Oakley has come out on the other side, and he's like, oh, really? And then she's like, no, he's not gay. He's now a defense attorney. with his own practice. At least I think it's his own practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny.
Because he's just trying to make small talk at this point. He's like, I'll put the quarters in. He's obviously feeling a bit secluded at this point.
And then here comes the juicy part, the one that we were all waiting for. She got one call. Kim called checking in on her. And of course, he asked, like, did my name come up? And she's like, yeah, she asked if you were alive. And then Francesca, and she's like, what did you say to her? He's like, nothing. She told her nothing. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, where are they going with this?
Yeah.
So Jean says goodbye, and of course she just straight hangs up because she's Francesca.
She just hangs up. She's like, John.
And I wrote down that he looked devastated. And hangs up, and he's by that. He was actually that phone. I guess that phone booth was right by that crossroads. So we see that crossroads that we saw, last week in the preview. And then we see Saul driving again. He's driving, and then he stops. He goes back to the phone. Now, chat, maybe you could fill in the gaps. So what I wrote down was that he calls Florida. I don't remember the name of the company that Kim works for in Florida, but. He basically calls Florida and he's looking for, Kim Wexler. And then it gets silent. We don't hear the conversation. We see him talking. We see his mouth move, pretend we're Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey. We see his mouth move and it looks like the conversation's getting heated. I don't know if they're talking to, I don't know if he's talking to Kim or if he's talking to the management of where she works. And they're like, she doesn't want to talk to you. And then he's yelling for them to put her on the phone. I'm curious what happens. Chat, what do you think happened? Write it down. And it gets to the point where he bashes the phone in anger, kind of like George Costanza. So I kind of thought that was funny, but then he kicks the glass in the booth, and I was like,
So I wasn't sure if that was. I sort of assumed. My assumption was that it just was a call with Kim. But yeah, I didn't think about maybe whoever picked up wouldn't let him talk to her. I mean, that's possible too. That I'm sure that would enrage him. But my initial assumption was it was her telling him to leave her alone, and he shouldn't be calling her. And how does he even know where she is? Type of thing, sort of like cyber stalker type deal, right? But it could be something completely different. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I'm curious now. Like, do you think maybe she has a restraining order on him? If that's the case?
Well, I mean, he's presumed missing at this point, right? Not dead. So I
Yes.
mean, I don't know. I mean, those are the things we don't, right? As of right now, they left amicably, sort of, pretty much. She said, I'm just, we're bad together. And we're bad for, or we're good together, but we're bad for everybody else. And she chose to end it to basically, stop hurting other people. Now, I'm sure he wasn't happy with that, but for all rights and purposes, they ended, where we're at in their current day relationship. I don't see that as like ending on bad terms where they should have a screaming match in a phone booth.
Yeah.
So I guess, but obviously years later, so there's something in there. Hopefully we get to see what happens in the next few episodes that gets us from where we know their relationship's at to where they are there, if that's her.
I mean, yeah, it's like in this it's 2010. It's 2010, and they last the end of the prequel portion of Better Call Saul, I believe, was still 2004. So it's been 6 years. So I mean, people change quite a bit in 6 years. So that could be one thing. But I want to read Steve O'Shea. He says, "Dude, he hid the money a long time ago before he called the vacuum cleaner salesman." Oh, okay, all right. I forgot. I'm on season 4. I'm rewatching and I'm up to season 4. So I'm trying to recall everything from Breaking Bad. So okay, cool. All right, that's interesting. Let's see. Joe Joker has a very interesting one. He asks, anyone here play Disco Elysium? I get a lot of similar vibes between Jimmy and the main character. I did not. I never heard of it. Have you? Are you, Steve?
No, never heard of it.
Huh, I'll have to look that up. Disco Elysium. All right. I'll have to save that. I'll have to save that. So, okay. So Magic Ace says, so he planned way back then to call Francesca at that particular gas station. Not likely. Seems like a plot hole. I don't know.
Look, I mean, well, that's the thing is, I don't know if Steve was that on screen or is that just an assumption? Because I can see it both ways. I mean, Saul was pretty paranoid either way, so he could have planted I could have seen him making drops in case he needed it on his way out of town, I guess, or earlier or for something else. I mean, because I think it's a safe assumption to think he did it before he left because he doesn't have that kind of cash on him right now. It doesn't seem like. So for him to drop that much money and then of course drive all the way there. So I think it's safe to assume it was done prior to leaving. But it is just sort of, I don't know. It's fine. It didn't bother me because he was doing all kinds of weird stuff and learning about drops and all that from the professionals. So
I've been working with Mike all these years.
Yeah.
We'll get to Mike. I was like, are we ever going to see Mike again? And I was like, yep, we saw Mike again. So,
yes,
so it was nice to see him again. I'm curious if we'll see Gus again. I'm guessing Gus is done. I'm guessing Gus is done with this series. So.
I would. Maybe, I don't know. We might see one more. We may see a Gus and Walt behind the scenes deal. I mean, who knows at this point? I wasn't expecting what we got from this episode. So everything's sort of on the table at this point.
All right. So first person that actually did the @Nerporial, thanks, is Ach. Welcome. I think this is the first time I've seen you on the stream. He says, or he or they. Sorry, I don't want to assume genders. Did you see the cameo? Walt and Jesse? Yes, I did see the cameo. We didn't get that far in the episode yet. We're still in the process of breaking this down.
I'm not sure if we're talking about the obvious cameo or if there's another cameo that we're missing. But yeah, Walt and Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, if there's another cameo,
another one. Yeah,
I did not spot it. So let's know.
Walt and Jesse, absolutely hard to miss.
Yeah. So okay. So kicks the glass of the booth. So that's the end of that scene. So we got a lot of commercial breaks. This was the second longest episode of the season. The longest episode was episode 2, but they showed episode 1 and 2 together. So that was almost close to 2. That was close to 2.5 hours long. So I don't think we started that first stream until like 10:30 that night, 10:30 Central. So.
It was really late. I remember. But,
all right, so let's keep going. Scene 3. So we're back to Gene. He's at Cinnabon, and he turns on the mixer, and he's just staring at it.
He's hating life, man. He's just done.
Yeah. So
so that is the look of somebody that's just done. He's just like, I am done with this Cinnabon.
Yeah. So what does he do? Well, guess who we see again? We see Jeff again. Jeff is back. And Gene is talking to Marion again. So we see more Carol Burnett here, and that's always a pleasure. And what does he do for Marion? Well, he helps her with her laptop, and he shows her funny cat videos because if you're that elderly and stuff, what's not to like about funny cat videos, dude? Like funny cat videos are like the most addicting videos on the internet. Like I can watch them. You've seen funny cat videos? They're even though I don't own a cat, I'm allergic to them. They're just like super cute and just like especially the kitty ones where they're running and like the way people put like obstacle courses for the cats. And sometimes the cats are smart enough, and sometimes they're not.
I don't know, man. I guess you can't. I'm a puppy guy. I'll take the I'll take the cute puppy videos. But yeah, I get you. I get what you're throwing.
Okay, so Judo Joker answers the question about Disco Elysium. So he says, you play as an amnesiac detective who lives a sad, flamboyant lifestyle because you got dumped by your ex-girlfriend. Also, your partner on the case is a super wholesome, handsome guy named Kim. Oh, okay. Is this a video game or is this like a point and click game? Yeah, let's know.
Like King's Quest.
Yeah, I'd look it up now, but
I'll look it up.
Stream.
All right.
And then we got Sam Quintanilla came back. He says tonight's episode was absolutely batshit crazy good. Yep. Some people feel this was a very good episode. Some people did not. But these next two episodes,
it wasn't crazy good for me, but I'm glad it was for you. And I'm not saying it was bad by any stretch of the imagination. So I just want to say that I liked it, but yeah.
Okay, there you go.
No, I liked it. I liked it. It's just not my top one, but. Let's keep going. We can talk about that at the end.
All right. So
lots of good things in it, but
So Carol Burnett looks up a video and she's like, oh, she's like watching a video called Cats Eating Ice Cream, and then of course, then we see Jeffy. Jeffy comes home and they're like, okay, take out the schnapps. Let's Jeffy get the schnapps.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Gene and Jeff okay, we're gonna take our drink to go, and then they take their leave of Marion. So Marion's left kind of.
What did you take that look on her face for? Like, was she upset they were leaving, or was she curious what was going on? Because she just sort of stares at them, like what? Like I took that as her sort of what are you up to? Like almost accusing.
I think she's curious about what they're doing, what they're up to, and we see it later. So I'm curious if Marion is going to be the downfall of Gene, Saul Goodman.
Well, there's a good chat right there, and somebody, Chris Collins, just added you with a comment or a question. I think that's on the ball right there.
Says, you think Marion is more dangerous than she appears? The thought did cross my mind. I am going to go on a limb and say that I think she has something to do with the downfall of James Morgan McGill.
Because I just that look as they left with the she looked pissed, like you know what I mean, like
she looked concerned. Pissed. She looked concerned, especially the later scene where it's late at night.
Yeah, and
this was she was awake. And you're just they're all meeting in her garage. So I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't concerned.
Well, Jeffy was obviously what the hell's going on? So he was right back on the back foot too. So.
And what did she tell Gene at the end of the last episode? That Jeff hung out with a bad crowd. So she's probably has that in the front of her mind, even though she thinks at the end of last episode, she thought, Gene was a good influence. She might, based on what she's observing, she might take that back.
Yep.
So food for thought for the future. So there we go.
I would think that'd be a nice little twist if she's the one that sort of does him in, just because he's sort of treating her like he treats every old person as almost a
means to an end.
Yeah. Yep.
I think he cared, with the Sandpiper people. I think he did care. He especially cared for Mrs. Landry. I mean, he was willing to. I mean, he was scamming her, and it got to the point where it just messed up her life, and she was getting depressed because of it. And so he kind of pulled back, and of course, that's when Aaron got involved from Davison, Maine, and they heard her. They heard his. They heard him. Heard his discussion, and then that's when that was the only way to prove, get Mrs. Landry off the hook.
Well, I think he's willing to use old people as far as he can without hurting them. As soon as stuff starts going bad, he sort of starts feeling bad. Like, he doesn't feel guilty until something like affects them deeply, right? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
using her to get to Jeffy is not really affecting her in any way. If he gets, if something happens to him, then he'll feel bad and he'll try and make up for it, right? So, yeah, I don't know. That's sort of his MO.
Yeah. So where are we at here? So
they just went outside with the schnapps.
Okay, they went outside with the shops, and he's just like, stop talking, Jeff. So he's being like the alpha. For once, we see Jimmy McGill acting like a pure alpha in this situation. He's like, stop talking, Jeff. And then he asks about his hours and tells Jeff to do the graveyard shift. So I think 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And he asks him to get like barbiturates. So they're going to, so he's going to be, I guess he's going to be spiking some drinks in the future. I forgot that I forgot about that because I was asking, like, did he drug the drinks or did he just get them so drunk that they just blacked out?
Yeah, I thought they were just. I didn't know they were doing and that's why when we get to the end, the thought that I hate calling him that, but Cancer Guy is probably not sleeping. We'll leave it at that. But I thought he was just getting blackout drunk and then falling home and passing out. I didn't. And then you see the water. Here's your water. Okay, obviously the water is drugged. So I wasn't sure.
We'll get to Cancer Guy, but he's not the first person, and I can't wait to talk about this. So they're basically, the boys are back in business. The boys are back in town. Bad boys.
Dude, he takes boss role real quick. Like, he just stomps into do this. I'm in charge. Like, I was like, wow, okay.
He's like, he's putting his inner Mike, his inner Walt.
Yep, everything
into
he's learned, putting it right into work.
From his observations of other people that he's been dealing with. This is kind of him trying to be that. So, but we see Gene. He's at karaoke. And he's singing. I don't know the name of the song, but it's "Brandy, You're a Fine Girl." I've heard it before. I can't think of it because of how terrible he is at karaoke. I mean, we first see it with him and his brother when he's being sworn into the New Mexico bar, or being vouched for the New Mexico bar. And of course, then his brother, the jerk, he's trying to get his brother to sing, but to sing with him. And instead of singing with him, he just takes the mic out of his hand and starts singing, "The Winner Takes It All" from ABBA. Please don't copyright me. Da, 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 da. Something like that. So,
didn't they sing that in? They sung that in a previous season, didn't they? The karaoke.
What? "The Winner Takes It All"? Yeah, season 4.
Yeah, okay.
This was like season 4, episode 8 or 9.
Yes,
I don't remember.
I don't know how you recall everything like that.
Oh, it was episode 10. It was episode 10 because this was the episode where he gets his bar. He has to get he reinstated at the bar. And the reason why they dismissed him the first time is because they didn't talk. He did not mention Chuck once.
I don't know how you recall all this stuff, dude. You amaze me.
I rewatched it. I rewatched.
Well, but it doesn't matter. You can pull anything out of any freaking Star Trek. Oh yeah, it was this episode. Better Call Saul. It's like, okay, is this? It's like, I don't know how you do it, bro.
I can tell you every episode of TOS in production order, but I won't do it here because nobody wants to hear it. So, but yeah, that's but I don't know. I don't have the names of the episodes by heart, but I just remember little tidbits. I've watched Better Call Saul like so many times now, so at least once a year. I always do a marathon of it right before a new season starts. So I did it for season 1, I did it for season 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this. So, and now I'm doing Breaking Bad again. So I've seen Better Call Saul more than I've seen Breaking Bad. But right now, this is my 4th watching of Breaking Bad.
I just can't pull out episodes like that. I just take the compliment. You're amazing.
Am I the bestest ever too?
Yeah, well,
just like Ray from Star Wars.
That's right.
All right.
Well,
good.
no
training.
Wait. What are we doing? No, you trained. You watched it over and over again. You trained hard, sir.
Oh, okay. That's so nice. Thank you. I need that. I just need that. So, all right. So Magic Ace says, You skipped over the beautiful transition shot they used showing the desert grave dissolved into Jean's. We didn't get that far yet. Foreshadowing? We didn't get that far yet. So
Yeah, we're still working.
We're working towards that. We didn't even get to Walt and Jesse yet. So, but we'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. So back to karaoke. So he does a terrible job. He gets off. And of course, the dude at the bar applauds. And he's like, this is worse than the Hindenburg going down. And I don't know if any of you spotted this, but the first dude that he does this to, the first dude, you know who that is? That's Devin Rattray. He's Buzz from Home Alone. That was Buzz from Home Alone that he was ripping off in the first part.
It was it was Henry that said it in chat. Henry Lemoyne said I'm just not observant. I guess we'll just say that. I didn't know that. That's awesome. And the
reason why I knew that was because I saw a recent picture of Devin Rattray, and he was also in that new Home Alone that Disney Plus was doing. I forget what it's called, Home Alone something. And he's in the show. And then of course recently he got arrested for I don't know if it was assault or something. He got arrested for some reason. That was Buzz from Home Alone. So, I was waiting for him to say, Saul, I wouldn't let you sleep in my room when you're growing on my ass. So, but yeah,
I gotta go look. Oh yeah, that's definitely him. Sorry, I had to take a look.
That was him.
That's so good.
I reckon. Yeah, I mean, he was in the 2 Home Alones, and he was in the Dennis the Menace from the early '90s. So those were the 3 movies I know him for.
That is hilarious.
And I grew up with. So there you go. So I kept calling him Buzz. I wrote down Buzz because I didn't know the character's name until later on. We find out that his name is actually Alfred, but I'm just going to call him Buzz from here on. So they take a bet, and of course he does Gene, he's doing all these bets, betting $100 bill. He's like, I bet you, you can, I can take the $100 bill, even though I'm this high and you're this high above the bill like this. And he wins, and Gene's like, oh man, really? How'd you do that? And of course, I don't know if he let him win or if he just didn't care. He probably just didn't care because that wasn't the. Yeah, they just didn't care.
He's getting ready to fleece him for all his worth, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course he does it, and then of course Gene loses. He pretends to down it. He has a little tube in his sleeve, and the tube sucks up all the alcohol into a little pouch. Yep. And so he pretends he's drinking. I remember in the Orville, they would pretend to drink in one of the episodes, and Seth MacFarlane would just, do this, they toast and they do this, so
it's pretty ingenious contraption, honestly.
Yeah. He has a little, gadget. He has a little gadget that sucks it up for him. So that was pretty cool. Well, he obviously got him drunk, and of course, I didn't see when he drugged it himself, so I don't remember exactly when. Well, they leave, and of course, he plays a match game with his hand or with Gene's hand. Of course, Gene Gene loses that one too, and he gets his hand burned as a result. And he's like, "Okay, we're gonna send." He's like, "We're gonna bet that if I win this with the match, that we're gonna send you to." I'm gonna take the cab first. And of course, Gene loses, and he's like, "Oh, I got the cab." I was like, "Oh, it's Jeff's cab. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?" So.
Yeah, well, you knew it was on then. It was sort of like we weren't quite sure what was happening with even the beginning of this episode, even my son was sort of watching it. He's like, what's happening? It's like, that's the whole point. You're not sure what he's doing yet. But then it became very clear when Jeff pulled up. It's like, okay, there we are.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm wrong now. Okay, so I know. Okay, so I know when. Okay, I know when he gets drugged now. That's with So Gene. So the next thing is we see Gene. Another cab goes up to him. He's like, "You need a ride?" It's like, no. Takes out the tube and he spills out the alcohol. Mm-hmm. And now Buzz is now in the cab with Jeff. And Jeff asks, "Are you all right? Do you want some water? Here, it's on the house." Right. I was like, okay. Then just now I just okay, that water is what was drugged.
Oh, you didn't realize that? Yeah.
No, I didn't realize it. So
yeah, maybe it's because I saw a terrible movie with Steve from Stranger Things where he was trying to be a TikTok famous, where he was drugging people and killing them in his back of his rideshare car.
Steve Harrington.
Yeah, I forgot
Really?
I forgot what the movie's called. It's a terrible, terrible movie, but but yeah,
does he have the same hair too?
Oh yeah, he's got the same hair and
Oh
everything.
my
I'll have
God.
to see if I can find it, but yeah, that's how he was getting people to fall asleep in the back of his ride chair. He was drugging them with water. So I'm like, oh, drugs are in the water.
Oh,
So
no.
I put that together right away.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'll have to see if I can find this terrible movie for you.
I wonder if it's on Netflix.
I think that's where I watched it. I'll find it for you. It's terrible, but
yeah. So here we go. So Jeff's. We see the cab pull up, and it's dropping off Buzz. Of course, Jeff helps him out of the cab and walks him to the door. And of course, Buzz being a dick, because Buzz is a dick. He's been a dick. He was a dick in Home Alone. He was a dick in Home Alone 2. He was even a dick in Dennis the Menace. So he was a dick here. So he was like, I'm not giving you another tip. And of course, Jeff helps him into the house, and Jeff puts some tape. Jeff puts tape on the lock, and we see it's a pretty wealthy community. It's a gated community there. So. Yeah. And then we see Jeff's buddy. I don't remember his buddy's name. I just called him Buddy in my notes. So Buddy walks a dog. And then of course, we see Buddy walks into Buzz's residence, and the dog stays quiet and put. I was like, what is up with that? I was like, wow, that's a really well-trained dog. So I'm guessing the dog was there just in case someone was coming and they would be alerted. That's what I assumed the dog was there for. I don't know. If you know in the chat, let me know. I
just thought he was walking the dog to look natural, and it's just a very well trained dog.
Okay, that could be it too. Yeah. So, but yeah, so Buddy walks in. We see Buzz is asleep on the couch, and of course he goes into Buzz's pockets and he pulls out his wallet, takes out his license, his credit cards, and he just takes pictures of them all, both sides. I just and we find out his name is Alfred. Poor Alfred / Buzz. so Buddy goes through the rest of the house. He searches through files, investment files, pictures of 1040 forms, bank statements, and he takes a blank check out of the guy's checkbook, and he finds accounts and passwords. Takes pictures of those, and he leaves with the dog and removes the tape, locking the door. So as if nothing ever happened.
I think that was actually pretty cool how they did that too. But I have to say, I guess we're calling him Buddy. Pretty chill for just breaking and entering. He's very low key. It's like, I wonder if he's done this before. Just the way he acted, he was very just like no nerves at all, just going about his business, right? And then just how he put the tape on, and then he closes the door, and you're like, uh-oh. Are they in trouble? Did he forget the tape? And then you hear him come back and get the tape. So I was like, I thought he was going to leave it at first. I was like, uh-oh, he's going to forget to take the tape off, and then he grabbed it.
Yeah.
So I liked how they did that.
Yeah, well, I think Saul would not leave any stone unturned. He would probably plan it to the T. So, but yeah, Chris Collin, thanks for this. So his name is Ricky. Okay,
Ricky,
okay, Ricky. So we'll call him Ricky. I'll call him Ricky from now on.
Instead of Buddy.
Yeah, I call him Buddy because I didn't know what to call. I forgot his name. That's just. But yeah, so that's the end of scene 4. So there's 3 scenes left. I'm like, okay. At this point, I was like, are we going to see Walt and Jesse? This episode is called Breaking Bad. I thought this whole thing was going to be this, but maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be a pure Gene episode like last week. Well, I was wrong. So we're back to the RV. We're back. First thing we see are the bullet holes, all 5 of them. And then we see Saul gets back in. So this was before and after that scene in Breaking Bad where they questioned Saul right in front of the dig, the burial, the burial, the dig, the grave for him, where he's freaking out. So we get to see that before that and after that. So now we're at the point after that, and we see Jesse. So he walks in, and then Jesse walks in, and then Walt. I'm like, Jesse, Walt. And what do we get to next? So Saul sees the setup. Saul sees the setup and he's like, we could still, attorney-client privilege still is in effect. And Walt's like, no details, Jesse, no details, or something like that.
Yeah.
And Saul ends up figuring out that they make the blue stuff because obviously, he's had a lot of clients who were probably picked up for carrying that. So he figures out that Walt is actually Heisenberg in this case. So it was pretty cool to see this in real time. So it was a treat to see Walt and Jesse again.
Yeah.
Saul figures out he's Heisenberg, and of course he calls shotgun. He's like, I call shotgun, and Jesse's like, what the hell am I supposed to stand? Not that anybody cares at this point. And he's like, dick. So he doesn't say bitch, he says dick. So
yeah, I don't know. It was good to see him, but it's just I don't know what I was expecting from the first. I mean, because there's supposed to be a few more with individual scenes with Jesse and Walt, right? So
yeah,
I don't know. It was fun to see him, but I don't know. Maybe I just had it built up in my head too much. I was expecting something.
Yeah. I kind of was too. So what else do we see?
And Jesse just threw me off. Especially from seeing your intro and seeing all the shots of Jesse Pinkman looking like young and ruggedly handsome and stoner like, and this just looked like beat down old man Jesse, and it was just like it took me out of it a little bit, but that's just me. Just saying, just me.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, look at Kenobi with Hayden Christensen.
Yeah. In the
40-year-old Padawan.
And they de-age everything at Disney. They couldn't de-age him a little bit. He just like a little bit. Just I mean, he looks pretty good. I'm not saying Hayden Christensen looks bad, but he doesn't. That using him straight up in a flashback, it was off. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it sort of takes your immersion out a little bit, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world, and it's not like he's looking horrible. It's just you could tell the difference.
Yeah, I mean, he's been like a star in his own right. He's been on several shows. He was on He's currently in Westworld. He was in another show about cults on Amazon. I forget the name of that one.
Look, he's doing a cameo for it's like he's not gonna change his life for that. So I understand. I'm just it's just one of those things.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that him and Bryan Cranston agreed to do.
Yeah, I'm glad they did it.
They were willing to go late. They were able to travel late at night in total secrecy.
Yep.
Which I can imagine is kind of stressful. But hey.
Yeah, no. Look. And I know I'm coming off as negative with this. I'm just saying it was still good. It was like I'm not saying it was a bad, horrible thing. I was just saying it. Jesse was a little off. That's it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it still, and it was a treat to see him. I think I think they molded right back into their characters. I mean, it's like they could just do the next season of Breaking Bad and be fine, right? I mean. Walt and Jesse in Canada starting over again, right? Okay.
So Henry Lemoyne here says, have you guys ever noticed that Lyle and Todd have the exact same personality? I'm like, really?
Lyle is
I guess they're very polite, but Richard James answers it perfectly. Lyle never killed a kid. Well, not that we know of.
But he's ordered it.
And if Harrison Thomas, if you're listening, we still think, your character might be the puppet master behind this whole thing.
Yeah, Lyle has ordered many a hit, so his hands are not clean. So let's get that straight right now.
Yeah, there you go. I actually for this stream, I tagged all the actor. I tagged whoever was on Twitter. So I tagged him. I tagged Giancarlo. I even tagged Mr. Bob Odenkirk. Ray Seahorn. I even tagged Peter Gould and Tom Schnoz. So who knows if they're listening? Probably not. But
Don Spina is right though. An aged Jesse is better than a fat Todd. I agree 100%.
Yeah, that was very distracting. I'll say this.
Yes. No. Well, Jesse was slightly distracted. Fat Todd was just like, what is this a different character? So yes, 100% agree.
I thought I felt that in El Camino we see too much Todd. There was too much flashback. I really wanted this to be like a Ken Mouse with Jesse against like the DEA and the police, and him just trying to get to the money while being pursued. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for that kind of type of movie.
Yeah, El Camino was fine, but it was
it was good.
Yeah, it was fine. It was good and it was fine. But
I mean, I guess there were bad guys that we didn't see before, and season 5 that were associated with Jack Welker and his gang of uninteresting thugs.
Yeah.
That
No,
were the
think
ones that killed Hank. Spoiler alert.
I'm right there with you. I think that would have been cool to see what see just sort of cat and mouse with Jesse trying to survive rather than, but it was still fine.
Yeah, it was still fine. So, but yeah, that's just my opinion. So if you disagree, hey, that's fine. That's what we're here. We're here to have conversations. We're here to share our opinions and listen to each other. And
Absolutely.
Exactly. So let's see. Let's go. Okay. So here, so we get to see Walt and Jesse bicker like they usually do. And why? Well, because the RV won't start. So they're having issues with the RV.
Of course they are
at this point too. So
the RV is basically a character at this point. Might as well be, right?
Yeah, and I remember it was. I think it was the episode, either the next episode or the episode after, where they go into the desert, and then they have all the mishaps with the RV. Like they're trapped out there. They try to call Skinny Pete. They give him directions and he fucks up the directions. He ends up going by a river. Like, what river? and of course they try to jumpstart the car, and the transformer gets under fire. And what does Jesse do? Or what does Walt tries to get the extinguisher, while Jesse just reacts and just dumps all their water onto it, taking it out. And Walt's just like,
Jesse's such a fuck up.
Yes,
I love it. It's so good.
The reason why the RV wouldn't start was because he left the key in the ignition.
Yeah, it's so good, man. Oh, I'm gonna have to watch Breaking Bad again now too.
Oh, that's a great thing. So, and we got Max Redstone here. I don't know if you watch Better Call Saul, but hey there, he showed up on my at the end of my Orville stream last Wednesday, or Thursday technically. So welcome. So, but yeah, so let's keep going. We're still on that scene. So they're stuck, and of course we get to see Walt do his iconic cough. So this is right before he gets that surgery. I forget what the surgery was called, but this is right before he gets that surgery. So he's still, in his coughing fit. He's bleeding from his lungs, I believe, or from his throat. I forget which.
Well, I assume I'm not going to assume. Obviously, he has lung cancer, so lungs, throat could be either.
And then Jesse asks a very interesting question. He's like, "Who's Lalo? I've never heard of this guy."
Yes, no. So I did like that part quite a bit. I was hoping that he would. I was hoping that he would answer, and Saul's like, nobody. Yeah, I was sort of hoping they get into it a little bit, because Jesse's sort of like, there's no word on the street. I forget how he puts it, but there's no word on the street about Lalo. Who's this Lalo?
Yeah,
and I was hoping like he'd look back and say Lalo Salamanca or something like that, and Jesse be like, well, who the hell is Lalo Salamanca? And then maybe Saul
he's
put
related to
Tuco.
He's related to that,
or rather, maybe he, like, by Jesse not knowing him, Saul would be like, oh, okay, maybe Lalo's out of the picture or something like that, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
I wish it went a little further. Like, I think that's what you were saying too. I wish they got a little bit of a discussion, but I mean, in Walt fashion, shut up, Jesse.
Shut up, Jesse. Jesse. So here's Alpha's like, "Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know you have rights?" "No." "Yeah, me neither." Nice. Welcome, welcome, Alpha. Just mentioned Gene being an alpha when it came to this latest scheme he's putting down.
Just
so
hardcore this episode too. By the end, he's just like unhinged and crazy. But we're getting there. I don't know about crazy, but unhinged. Sorry.
Yeah. So, and of course, Henry Lemoyne says Crazy 8 knew Lalo. It would have been cool if Jesse heard about Lalo through him. Yeah, that could have been. I mean,
yeah. Look, I like that Lalo was mentioned. I just wish it was explored a little bit more, like just some sort of like almost so. I don't know. It's just a little discussion about it, just because we miss Lalo, right? I mean, Lalo was awesome. So, I don't know. It was fine, but it could have been a little bit like just like some recognition of Lalo from Jesse's, like, oh, that Lalo dude, he's crazy or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. It was still fine.
Yeah, I agree. So Saul wants to get back. And then of course, then, he's like, try the RV again. Walt tries the RV and it starts. Yay. And Saul offers 2 words of advice: Jiffy Lube. So there you have it. I was like, are we going to see any more of them after this? And are we going to see any more of the Breaking Bad era after this? Well, wait and see. Mm-hmm. So we see a close-up of the burial, and the close-up of the burial, and it aligns with Gene in bed. So you're kind of like, is this foreshadowing something? Is Gene going to kick the bucket? That was a very interesting little transition that they did.
Some very unsubtle foreshadowing.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. So here, what
I think the further and further Gene is spiraling out of control, the more and more I'm ready to sort of be like, okay, he's gonna die. I was sort of hoping he wasn't gonna, but there's been a lot of foreshadowing, especially that last one, and then just he's being reckless, like very reckless.
Well, okay, that's one way to put it. Maybe just Jimmy McGill himself, or Jimmy McGill, the personality, dies.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, you could look at it, several ways, right?
One thing that Mr. Peter Gould did say during Talking Saul was that he's like, Saul might not necessarily die. And he asked the audience this. He's like, what does Jimmy McGill deserve? And I don't think he deserves death. What I think he deserves is prison. I mean, for all the schemes, he's never killed anybody. He doesn't live by the sword. I mean, but he has been involved with killers, obviously, like Mike and Walt and Jesse too, even though Jesse is will actually take ownership. He's not a sociopath like Walt is, and he's not completely lost his soul like Mike. But I think Gene or Saul deserves prison time, and this is my opinion. I'm not sure we're not sure what the chat is thinking, but yeah, he's really relapsing back into, I don't know if he's relapsing more into Saul or Slippin' Jimmy. So probably more Slippin' Jimmy when you think of it.
Well, this is very Slippin' Jimmy. He's pulling cons and all that. He's got the ring on. He's going for it, full war.
Yeah, the ring from Marco. Yeah, that's right. So Magic Ace says, Magic Ace commands to do a poll. All right.
Commands.
So I'm going to have to go into YouTube to do this.
With Tom Forsythe's right. Sharing a cell with the Kettlemans. But the Kettlemans are out. The Kettlemans are out. Remember the...
Yes, we see... Yeah, they're out in episode 3. Was that episode 2?
Documentary,
No, it was episode 2. Yeah.
They're out and completely innocent. They never did a thing wrong. Those Kettlemans.
All right. Okay. Let me do it now. So, all right, stupid notebook falling off my bed. So, will Gene / Saul / James Morgan McGill die at the end? And ask community. So there we go.
There we go. Right. I'm going to go vote right now. Everybody else should too. Yes. Oh, man, you voted no, didn't you? That was you. We're 50-50. Was that you and me?
I voted. I think I voted yes by accident. So I don't know.
No, because there was a no as soon as it was up.
So now it's 11 votes, and yes, 55%, no, 45%. So we'll keep checking on that later.
50-50, pretty split. I love it.
Yeah.
See, and that, you know what though, that's the best part of some of these things. I love that you can have differing opinions and talk about it.
Yeah, that's what adults do.
Yeah, it breeds theories. It breeds discussions. Sometimes one can change another person's mind from some good facts, and it's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, and as long as you're willing to listen, and not everybody's going to like particular episodes. Not everybody's going to like particular shows. Like if you're invested in a sci-fi franchise, like for instance Star Trek, and a lot of people do not like the direction of these new shows, and the people that still like them somehow, it's a weird phenomenon, but it does exist.
It's a weird phenomenon. Absolutely.
But instead, they shame fans that don't like it and call them this and that and that. Like, just basically just a bunch of ignorant statements. I mean, when people are really fans of something, they see it going by or on the track of going by the wayside, they're going to speak up and they're going to say it. Yeah. I mean, sometimes people might be a little toxic about it, but just because they disagree and are criticizing something doesn't make it automatically toxic. A lot of the times it's constructive. I've seen very little deconstructive or destructive criticism. I call it destructive criticism. So that's just me. So, like, some people didn't like this episode, we'll have a discussion. So
yep, agreed, 100%.
So, like, maybe some people in the chat like the new Star Trek. That's fine. I mean, one thing I am totally against is taking away somebody's enjoyment of the show. But I'd rather have a conversation than just flatly denigrate it in front of somebody who does like it. So, which I think is the problem with a lot of people, is that they just denigrate it without trying to have a conversation with someone that likes it. So that's just me saying it. So there you go. Okay. So we're back to Gene. He gets out of the bed, the nice little frame of, the burial in the bed, and he goes to the door and he gets a package from UPS. And I was like, wow, UPS was in this episode. Well, this was before Amazon had their own little, service, because now you see Amazon trucks everywhere. So, but yeah, so he opens it, and we then see that he gets a swing master for his feet. So he's kind of reverting back to Saul Goodman, where he's laying down. He has his head propped up on like a pillow, and he's got his feet, he's got his ankles on the swing master, and they're just kind of moving back and forth, forth.
It's so funny that we sort of almost refer to Jimmy Saul Gene as having almost multiple personality syndrome, because he's reverting back to his mannerisms and characteristics of Saul Goodman are seeping back in, right?
Yeah.
He still looks like Gene. Everything's still black and white, but he's doing, he's doing he's doing everything. Everything Saul Goodman style at this point, right? So he's reverting back. Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
And there's something that Magic Ace brings up that I kind of want to address. We lost Nichelle Nichols yesterday. Oh. So rest in peace, Lieutenant Uhura. So F's in the chat for Nichelle Nichols. She played, Lieutenant Uhura on the original Star Trek. She was in the original 6 films. She had a very small. She was a supporting character, and she wanted to leave the show at one point. And the reason why she stayed on the show was because she went to, I don't know if it was a fundraiser, but she went to an event, like a party, and Martin Luther King actually approached her from behind, according to Nichelle Nichols' interview. And they were talking about her being on Star Trek. She's like, oh, my kids love seeing you on the show. And she's like, I don't know if I'm going to stay. I don't really think it's great for my career. I'm kind of bored with it. He's like, no, you got to stay. This is important. I mean, I don't know exactly what he said, but this is about the future. And we want to see, I want my kids to see that we can all, of all races, we can show equality. So when I retweeted, someone else's tweet about her passing away, I put down #equality, because that was what TOS was back then. So if you consider the original series woke, well, that era being woke was a good thing. Now, now it's like you're looking for oppression now. But that's just my opinion. I know there were some bad things that happened last couple of years that were not good, but still. But the 60s really needed it, because what came out of the 50s and 60s, the fact is that society is now better. Society is better now because of the stuff from Star Trek, from shows like Sanford and Son, from the Jeffersons. And of course, and you might disagree, because of what this actor did, but the Cosby Show. Cosby Show is a beautiful show. If you can separate the art from the artist, Cosby Show did the whole equality thing probably the best, showing.
Don't know a kid of our era that didn't watch the Cosby Show.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was born during when the first season came out. What's funny is when the show ended, that was when my brother was born. So I was born when the show began, and my younger brother was born when the show ended.
Well,
so it was a very interesting. It was a very interesting parallel right there.
I don't want to go off on a tangent, but it's like that's how I eat my hoagies or submarine sandwiches, as you call them. I put potato chips all over them because that's what I saw on the Cosby Show.
Remember,
that's a good idea. And
remember the episode where all the men in the family were pregnant, and Cliff and Bill Cosby, Cliff gives birth. Mr. Dr. Huxtable gives birth to a giant, like probably a 3 foot long hoagie, and he gives birth to a bottle of, I don't know if it was root beer, or grape soda. He gave birth to a bottle of soda, and that was like
good old root beer. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was just such a great episode. That was such an awesome episode.
Oh gosh,
it was beautiful.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take a sharp right, but yeah, I don't know. It was great. But we also lost. I mean, they say things come in threes. We lost Bill Russell too.
I didn't even know who Bill Russell was until I read he was NBA.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people passed away. Don Spina has an orange soda. Nice. Orange soda. There you go. I love orange soda. But I know we're kind of getting off track.
Sorry. Reeling it back in.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Magic Case is like, welcome to Trek Talk Newcomers. I love that. I mean, if I have any reason to talk Trek, if I hear Trek, I'm like the dog when he sees a squirrel. I'm like, Trek, like that. So, but yeah, rest in peace, Nichelle Nichols. You will be missed. So back to Better Call Saul. So we find out that Gene repeats this scheme with other victims. So there's like 3 other people that we see, and he repeats the same scam, multiple people. Jeff gives them rides, and of course, then Ricky comes in, gets their info with the dog pictures, and then they meet a guy, and they get a box full of money. And of course, what do they do with the celebration? Well, Ricky and Jeff are like, yeah, at the strip club. They're right in the front, right by the poles, and Gene's kind of in the back, kind of far away. But then, we find out, well, he brings in, he's like, he's thinking like, yeah, why not? And he brings in those, I don't know if it was the strippers or just hookers in general, but he brings in the ladies of the night to sleep with him. So he's getting back to what he was like in Saul, as Saul, because you remember when Saul wakes up, he has the lady of the night in the bed, and he goes right on the phone. He gets dressed, he goes right on the phone with his Bluetooth, and the lady of the night just comes. He's like, oh, go to the breakfast bar. Go to the breakfast bar. So there's like Nutri-Grain. There's like a whole bunch of Nutri-Grain bars and whatnot. So it was, so he's kind of trying to recapture that life. And well, let's just say, so they're what ends up happening is they're counting money. It's silent, and of course there's lots of drinks consumed, and of course it ends with, well, once again we see the Cinnabon mixer. So there you go.
Yeah, him staring at it, hating. It's just like hating. You can feel him hating it now. It's like, it was sort of like apathy at first, and now you can just feel him just like, I hate you, Cinnabon mixer. At least that's how I felt. It was one of those, like, the beginning of the episode was like sort of like, ugh. And at the end, he's just like, I freaking hate you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
There you go.
I don't know if I'm just reading into it more than there was there, but that's just how I took it.
Yep, it was another montage. I'm curious if this is the last one, or we got 2 more episodes, so there's 2 more chances of more montages. So yeah, just like from Team America, montage. We're gonna have a montage. But so now we see Gene's latest victim, and he believes you can't let a few apples spoil the rest. So they're having to talk about bad people in general. And they end up talking about like the execs at Enron. If you remember the whole Enron thing, it's like there's a special place in hell for them. I remember there was all over the news for like the longest time when I was in school. So yeah,
I remember all that.
Who was president then? Bush.
Yeah,
G.W. Bush. So
what is there something? So is it Coracab? Did we miss something with the ankle machine? I thought we talked about the ankle machine already.
No, we talked. He got the ankle machine from UPS, and then Gene was using it, and he was enjoying himself.
and basically.
But is this the first time we see the ankle machine? Question.
Yeah. And then it's evolving back. Well, I don't know if devolving, but transitioning back to Saul, I think is what that is. So.
Yeah. So yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. So, and of course what was it called again? It was called the. I keep forgetting what the name of the machine was. It's the. So it was UPS. Yeah, it was UPS. It's the Swing Master. It's called the Swing Master.
The Swing Master. There you go.
So that's what happened. So, but we find out that this latest victim is like Walter White. He has cancer, and so like he's taking out all these pills, and Gene actually mistakes them for freaking. He mistakes them for like vitamins. It's like, no, these are my pills for cancer.
Like, those are fancy. It's like
oh, okay. So, so a guy takes pills for cancer, and Gene asks us if he should be drinking, and the guy's like, "You only go around once." And then, of course, Saul puts him in the cab, and he's just like, he's like kind of wondering if he should do this. Well,
that's why I felt like it was. Like I felt like he was having second thoughts because But I guess I don't know. It was that because obviously he wasn't. He's gung ho for it. So
vitamins and hormones. Thanks, Max. You're awesome.
I don't know. Yeah. Do you think that was him sort of just like fighting with himself and he just decided? So he's just like, okay, we're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it. And Max also says this. He says, I predict something horrible is going to happen to Jeffy's mom, Marion, and it will be Saul's fault. The circle of his destructive life will be complete. It's funny, as like we were saying earlier, I think Carol Burnett is going to be the downfall of James Morgan McGill. We'll have to see. So, but yeah, we'll get to that. So, and of course, I didn't say hello to Hardboil. What's up? I know you've been messaging, you've been chatting. He says, Gene taking out some anger for Walt on this guy, and he thinks, yeah, that's what it sounds like. So let me check the thing. So we have 22 votes, and it's still 50%. 50% yes, 50% no.
That is awesome.
It's okay. So let's so if you haven't voted, vote on the poll. Let's there's 34 people watching. I'm sure there's more people that haven't. Yeah, vote on the poll. I want to see the ultimate result.
I have to say I fully am on board with this theory that somehow, whether it's her getting hurt or her finding Saul on YouTube or whatever, she's going to be the downfall of Saul. I think.
Marion? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what it will be, whether he gets hurt and Jeffy goes nuts or she finds out.
She finds a Saul Goodman commercial. She's like, wait a minute. I know that guy.
But I'm thinking, I mean, we're not there yet, but I think how Gene entered the premises is going to come back to haunt him.
You mean at the very end?
Yeah. So we could talk about that when we get there.
We'll get that. We'll get to that. So yeah. So we're at scene 6, and we're back in the Breaking Bad era, and the cell phone goes off, and Saul has his feet on the Swing Master, so he's using the Swing Master in this scene too.
Yeah.
And Francesca calls, and then of course he's like, okay, your next person's coming. Send them in. Oh, hey, Sunshine, and it's Mike. So we see Mike again. I was like, yes. I was hoping I was worried that we weren't going to see any more Mike in the show.
Now I would like, because of course my memory is about as good as nothing, but I forgot who said it, and at the beginning of the show, I think it might have been Judo Joker. I'm not sure. I found it very strange that Mike is doing PI errands for Saul at this point, considering he's the head of Gus's security. And I mean, are we to think that he's just now not doing that, and he's doing this to keep busy? Like I don't know. What did you think?
Mike doing the PI stuff?
Mike's doing, yeah. I sort of found it weird that Mike is doing PI stuff for Saul at this point.
Well, that's how his character got started. He was originally in the finale for season 2. Originally, Odenkirk was supposed to be Saul. He was supposed to go where Jane Jane dies, you know,
Yeah.
Jane
Right.
Margolis, who's her father is John Delancey, who plays Q on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Yeah, more Star Trek talk. But yeah, she dies overdose because Walt lets her die. He breaks into the house.
Yeah.
To give Jesse I think he was trying to give Jesse the money, and of course they were all high on heroin.
Right.
And he turns her around, and she starts choking on her own vomit, and then she dies. And like Walt's like, what am I gonna do? And he doesn't do anything. He just lets her die.
Yeah.
And well, that's originally Odenkirk was supposed to be Saul and remove the drugs, go in, with gloves and remove the drugs. But because Odenkirk wasn't available, they hired Jonathan Banks.
Yeah, the fixer. He was the fixer at that point, right?
He was simply the fixer, Saul's PI.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, so right now where we're at in Better Call Saul, he's basically head of Gus's security. So are we? I get, and I don't have a problem with it. I just found it a little weird, just because now he's not the head of security. He's just at that point in the show, he's doing drops, right? He's picking up the drops for Gus. So is he taking the back seat in the organization? So he's doing other things to keep busy because that's what he does. I mean, I guess that's what we're to assume.
Yeah, I mean, I think technically Saul works for Gus too indirectly, right. So they both work together.
So Mike's just bored, so he's good doing PI stuff. I mean, I can believe that.
Well, Mike. I mean, busy, I'm assuming that things were just going so good that there wasn't a whole lot of security issues. So Mike, to keep himself busy, works with Saul as a PI. He basically investigates, all of Saul's clients. That's why Saul's always ahead of the curve.
All right.
I mean, you see right away in the very first episode of Saul where he tracks Walt down to the high school, which we do see later on. We'll get to that. It was very quick, but
yeah. Well, and he does say basically, I mean, I'm not even taking this to Gus. This is small potatoes. So no, just deal with it. So this is just sort of okay. The organization's humming. I don't need to worry about any of that. I'll do some PI stuff. Why not?
Yep.
So I can dig it.
So so he's on. Saul's on the swing master, and he's telling him like, oh, you can talk to me while I'm on the swing master. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. He's like, I am not doing this while you're doing it. He's like, well, why not? Why not? LBJ used to get report when he was on the shitter, which is funny because I saw that I watched an HBO movie, LBJ, and you know who played LBJ in that movie? Bryan Cranston. So they were kind of,
I remember that movie.
And there was a scene where he was on the shitter and you get to see, Bryan Cranston, with his pants down, getting report from, from his assistant. So I thought that was a pretty cool kind of, even though like it was probably, I'm sure it was true for the real LBJ doing it, but I think this was also a way of kind of saying, hey, remember Bryan Cranston was in a movie, an HBO movie about LBJ? At least that's what I saw, because I did actually watch that. It was a pretty good movie. Yeah, really good. Bryan Cranston's one of the best actors in business right now. I mean,
absolutely.
His Walter White, dude, him, Odenkirk, heck, even Dead-Eyed Mike.
Well, all the actors, all of them were killing it in both series.
But speaking of Dead-Eyed Mike, I got a transmission from the past, and we got to see Mike Ehrmantraut in his early adventures being a goon. But in this case, he didn't call himself Mike then. He called himself Zach. So I'll just let you guys take a look.
I figured,
Huh?
What are you doing? What am I supposed to do here, Mikey?
Love that movie.
And then, wait, I hear another one. Let's see.
I hate going now. Shut up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, shut up.
Yeah, please.
Just shut up, Mikey.
Shut up, Mikey.
I got three more clips, but I'm not going to show them right now. But that's what Mike was doing back in 1984.
Dude,
that was 1984.
I gotta watch the Beverly Hills Cop tonight after we're done now. Hell yeah, I love that movie.
Part of the reason why I got more excited for the show seeing him, who does not recognize that face? That just completely.
Just the eyes.
The eyes, just those eyes of Jonathan Banks.
He is so unique
Yes, he is.
Yeah, it's one of those you can't. But yeah, I love that movie so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Beverly Hills Cop is probably not only my first R-rated movie, it's probably my first live action movie too. Like when I was like a 2-year-old, I was involved with the soundtrack, all the songs that they play in the movie. I was just like Neutron Dance. I was a 2-year-old dancing to Neutron Dance. So it's ridiculous.
My father's boombox just blasting it.
Yeah, Pointer Sisters. There you go. Yeah, the fact that I know that makes me sound like a boomer. Even though I was literally born 2 weeks before Beverly Hills Cop came out in the theater. So there you go.
That's okay. It's all right.
But yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So going back to Mike.
Yeah.
So Mike talks about a whole bunch. He gives like report to Saul. He's talking about someone named Mrs. Denise Gabler. I don't remember, but I think Saul insults Mike. I forget exactly what he says. He's just he insults his looks or something. Mike's like, whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, he follows a bus driver. And then he says that bus driver really does have a broken neck. And Saul's like, yeah, that's great.
That makes it so much easier for me.
And then, of course, the second story, he talks about second story guys. I forget what that was about. And then he talks about, Heisenberg. He confirms that Walter White is Heisenberg. And he confirms that Heisenberg is Walter White. And he gives his full name, Walter Hartwell White or something? Is Hartwell White, I believe.
I forget, but...
And of course, he gives information that he's a chemistry teacher, that he has stage 3A lung cancer. And of course, he deals with Jesse Pinkman. So Jesse Pinkman was identified. And here's the interesting stuff. So we find out what Mike thinks of them. And Mike says, I wouldn't go near him. I wouldn't go near Heisenberg. He is too amateurish and he's small potatoes for Gus. And of course, Saul's like, no, why not? Why not? Let's get with him.
Word on the street. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Stuff is good. Yeah.
His stuff is like the great. His stuff's the best. So there you go. And of course, Mike, I love this comparison. He's like, you know what? Remember back in the day, Betamax came out and it was the greatest fucking thing ever. It was the best fucking thing, and then it just went to shit. And that's it. And then so he compares Walter White to Betamax. And I'll say this: awesome. I am old enough to remember going to the video store, probably late 80s, early 90s. I was a little boy, and I remember seeing there was they have a VHS box of the movie. Now we went to one of those. We didn't go to Blockbuster. We went to like one of those other. We went to those independently owned video stores.
Where? The Warehouse.
And so every VHS had like a number. But they also had like a circle sticker with a number on it. But then they'd have a blue sticker that would say they have another number, and then it would say beta under that. I was like, what is beta? And then they showed I saw how the beta looked, and the beta was a smaller cartridge or smaller cassette than the VHS. So that's how I first learned about Betamax. And then of course we all know VHS dominated.
Oh, yeah.
And Betamax failed. I forget who made Betamax. I forget what company. I think it was JV. I forgot the name of the company that made VHS. JVC made VHS. And I forget who it was. It Sony that made Betamax.
I have no idea. But all I remember Philips. Is never touching a Betamax tape in my life. It was VHS. You had the whole Betamax section over there, and it's like, what is all that over there? And then it just slowly started shrinking until it was gone.
So Jeffrey's Game Room says it's Sony that developed.
Max said Max beat him to it though.
Oh yeah, Max. All right, yeah, Max. Sony.
Max wins.
Yeah, it's my sex box. No, it's my sex box. No, it has a name, and her name is Sony. That's from Family Guy. When they go to the family with the Hicks, and they're like, these two brothers are arguing over the sex box.
Yeah, I feel like
it just made me think of that just now.
It's been a while.
It's from Family Guy. It's from Family Guy. So. Yeah.
I've watched my fair share of Family Guy, but it's been a while. So.
Oh yeah. But yeah. So.
And somebody said it right here. Where is it? Mike. There it is. Hard boiled. Mike giving good advice and being ignored as usual. Yeah, that seems to be the norm. Mike gives like right on the money, the right thing you should do, and everybody just does the opposite.
Yeah, I agree. And what's funny is. In the clip that I showed in the beginning, like Saul literally says to Jesse in that one clip, he's like, I think some people are just immune to good advice.
Yep.
So just made me think of that. So
it's absolutely true because he says all the right things and like everything plays out exactly how he says. It's like, well, if you just listen to Mike, you'd be all right. But nope.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there you go. And Judo Joker brings up another interesting thing that I didn't do earlier. So yeah, I'm if you're not subscribed to Courtney Reviews, subscribe to Courtney Reviews. She gives some really excellent takes and excellent breakdowns on Better Call Saul episodes. And Judo Joker says, I saw a theory from Courtney Reviews saying that Gene may have a death wish after that phone call to Kim. Ooh, that's a very interesting theory. I'm curious.
It's an interesting theory. I mean, it's obviously possible. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, maybe it sends him over. I don't know about a death wish, but it could. When he gets flustered, he does stupid things. Like,
oh yeah,
I think that happens all the time. When he gets challenged or something stresses him out, that's when Saul, Jimmy, Gene make the worst decisions ever. Is when he is stressed. So obviously the phone call stressed him out and then he's just lashing out. So which is, death wish. It's pretty much the same thing. So that could be on the money right there.
Does that mean Charles Bronson's going to show up and save the day? Death wish.
Shoot him? I was going to just shoot him. Wait,
maybe
if he showed up, wouldn't he just shoot him in the head and be done with it?
Well, they said Death Wish, so
wait.
I think Death Wish. I think Charles. I think
you don't like the Bruce Willis remake of Death Wish. That's terrible.
I did watch it. It was like, this is not Death Wish. This is nothing like that. This is nothing like Death Wish.
Why can't they make movies anymore? Okay, sorry.
Why did they have to remake everything? Just people write books. People continue to write books. I don't know if they're any good, but people write books. Adapt some more books. Do what they did in the 60s and 70s.
Don't adapt any more books. Just I don't know, write something better.
Well, I'm talking about singular vision. So, but yeah, I get it.
Normally, I'm right there with you. Adapt all this stuff, but it's like they can't seem to make any of it. But let's move on. Sorry, I could go down that rabbit hole forever.
So we're at 24 votes, and it's still 50. It's still
no
50,
way.
Yes,
I just looked at it. It was at 20. It was at 23 votes, and no was ahead. I can't believe it. That's amazing.
If you haven't voted, vote.
Yeah.
This is even more important than the 2020 election. Just vote for
Will Lyle. No, I'm kidding.
Vote for this, and
Is Lyle the best character in Better Call Saul? A resounding yes. So yeah, so we're at Mike, right? Is that where we're at right now? So it was good. That was a good scene. I did like that.
Yeah, it was. I liked. Yeah, I loved. It's always a treat to see Mike. Like I would rather watch Mike but not say anything and just doing stuff than
just do his drops
than watching a whole bunch of useless dialogue in a lot of shows that
I
will not name.
What could have been funny is just some not funny but interesting is just watching him tail.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Just watching him tail Walter around, just getting all the info on him.
Yeah,
just watching him do stupid things and freaking out and just watching him cook meth and all that stuff and just getting everything on him and be just shaking his head going, this guy is unhinged, man. This guy is nuts. That could have been sort of interesting.
So Henry Lemoyne has this nice little thing to say about my appearance. He says, "Yo, Nerdporio, if you shave your beard, you would look like Hank." I've been told I look like Michael Chiklis from a few people. I've been told I look like.
I'm sorry you die.
Yeah, it's right now I'm on a strictly protein diet majority of the week. So hopefully my cheekbones will show more. My jawline will be more defined. And Nosferatu, if you're listening, this is for you.
You're getting a shape for Nosferatu? Uh-oh.
But yeah, Hank's a big guy, and I'm a big guy too.
Hank is awesome. All right.
My gut's not as big as Hank's though. I see every time I see him with his gut, especially when he was in the bed, I was just like, oh, come on, Dean Norris, lose some weight. He was in Total Recall. He was the alien dude in the bar, and he was also, what else was he in?
He's in all kinds of stuff.
He was in Starship Troopers. He played the commanding officer, one of the commanding officers, I believe.
Yep, at the training facility. He's in all kinds of stuff. He's a great actor.
There you go. And we got Rough Girl here. Welcome. No, do you think they will kill Jimmy Miguel? I don't think they will.
Answer the poll. Oh, poll is 25 votes. No is winning.
Yeah, no's winning. So
oh no.
New poll. Is Lyle the best? Yes or yes, and go.
Do we need a poll for that? I mean, yes. Astounding.
No, I don't think. Korkev, I thanks. I appreciate the suggestion, but we all agree. We all say yes. Come on, yes, yes or yes. There you go. There you go. That's it.
A resounding yes. He's the best.
I did that. I did a poll like that for what is the best Thanksgiving movie ever, and I put down Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Because come on, what else is there?
What else is there? Yeah, right.
And of course, Aaron Paul killed this role in Breaking Bad. Yes, he did. The fact that they were originally going to kill Jesse Pinkman off at the end of season 1, but because of the chemistry, because of great acting from Aaron Paul and the chemistry that he had with Bryan Cranston, I mean, it's like Saul compared them to Laurel and Hardy. He's like, I enjoy the Laurel and Hardy, but I don't like the Bickerson. So, but that's basically what it was. And of course, in real life, I believe they're friends. So it was cool seeing them together. They have a great chemistry, and it's just whenever they're on screen, like it always brings me to laughter. They're always enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
so
that's for sure, absolutely.
But yeah, so. Do you guys think Jeff will die? No, I don't think he'll die. No. Saul the Dragon, do you think he'll die? I don't think he will. If he dies, I'll be surprised.
Jeff die.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think he's going to get in trouble again in Marion.
I think Jeff is going to give up Saul. I think Jeff is going to give up Saul. He's going to make a deal with the police. So Marion will help. Marion will probably talk him into it.
Yep, exactly.
And that's how Saul gets put away. So
I think that's a good theory. Is they're going to get caught. And Marion is going to convince Jeff to give up Saul or something like that.
And Rough Girl talks about Westworld, and she says with Aaron Paul, it's finally making sense. His acting is great. Okay, my buddy who I was hanging out with on Saturday told me that the seasons 3 and 4 were actually much better than season 2. So I'm curious because I didn't watch. I watched just the beginning of the first episode of season 3, and then I kind of stopped.
Yeah, I heard season 3 was sort of a mess, and 4 was doing a little better. But I'll find out. I may check it out. It's hard to find TV right now, so if it's getting better, then I may check it out.
Did we comment on the mic thing? Yeah, we talked about the mic thing. We talked about Betamax.
His comment is that what I'm not sure. Which
did you see my comment on the? I don't know. If you put Nerdporial, I'll be able to find it. So if you put @Nerdporial, I can see the chat better. If not, I'm just kind of gonna. I usually gloss over it. So
we are floundering. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many good comments. It's hard to keep up sometimes.
I didn't see it. Where is it? Oh, here. To me, the Mike scene really did add to Breaking Bad. Walt was a nobody to Mike and Gus. But all the season 1 and season 2 DEA scenes in Breaking Bad were them chasing blue meth, completely oblivious to the real big dog, Gus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Gus knew how to play the game. And how did he play it? He hid in plain sight, which is exactly what he tells Walt. And that's how he does it. That's why he serves the community. That's why he donates to the DEA. He does a lot of stuff with the DEA. So there you go. Yeah. But yeah. And yeah, the final 2 episodes the next one's called Waterworks, and the finale is called Saul Gone. So called Saul Gone. What does that mean?
Could be a million things.
Could be a lot of things, but we're not even through the episode. So let's get to it, and then we'll talk about, I have a theory. It's going to be a sad theory that I have that I just came up with now, but we'll talk about it.
Oh, good. I love theories.
Oh, you're not going to be happy to hear this.
I'm happy
this might not.
I may not like this. I may not like your theory, but I love hearing theories. I love theories. They make my brain work, which is the best part of this. But
yeah, theories make us more interested, get us more invested, and get us more engaged. I mean, that's what happens when you have a really good show. It doesn't tell you everything. That shows you instead of tells you, and it makes you wonder what's going to happen next. It makes you want more.
Yeah,
early Game of Thrones did it. It had that magic.
Yeah, and the best part of just throwing your theories out there is when you actually hit one. You're like, Yes, I got it. You know,
Mhm.
it's just like it doesn't happen often, but
Yeah.
excuse me.
All right, so
All right, so let's finish up this episode.
so
Sorry.
we're back. So we're in the final scene now.
Okay.
So we're done with the mic scene. We're back in black and white, and we see drinks being poured. And of course, Gene makes his drink. He sits back and watches TV, changes the channel, and then the phone rings, and he uses his Bluetooth. And he's like, "Get your ass back to the garage." I was like, "Oh, it's probably Jeff or Ricky or someone." And then we find out that in the next scene, Marion is watching the cat videos, and then she hears barking. Gets up and she looks outside, and she sees Gene kind of yelling at Jeff and Ricky, and they go into the garage. And so she's kind of like, I think like I said, this is why I think she might have something to do with his downfall. She's looking kind of concerned, going back to what I said earlier, that how she was concerned about Jeffy running in with a bad crowd in Albuquerque.
Right.
Well, I think this is that was planted, that bit of dialogue was planted to continue into this little scene where she's just looking and with concern on her face. She didn't look happy to see
It matches
Gene.
up with the it matches up with the other one where she's like, "We're gonna take our drinks to go," and she looks very upset. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so so Marion's watching, and then they go into the garage, and of course Gene is pissed. We find out that Ricky will not rip off the guy with cancer because he goes into the pocket and he finds all the pills. And he's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And well, Gene is like, no. Everybody has a sob story. Finish the job. And he's like, well, I can't. I took the tape off. We can't go back inside. And he's just like, he's like, you son of a gun. And well, Jeff is like just sitting there. He's like, oh, I can see both sides. I can see where you're coming from. I can see. So Jeff is kind of like, Jeff is definitely not an alpha at all. Jeff is definitely not an alpha at all. The fact that he's more of a follower than anything, which is funny. You got Gene bullying him, which is funny because I cannot imagine Saul bullying anybody, especially the way he was portrayed in Breaking Bad. But yeah, so once again, so Jeff basically is like, so Jeff sees both sides, and we find out, you know what, Ricky, you're fired. So Ricky's fired. He's gone. And he's like, Ricky, or he's just like, you better keep your mouth shut. So I'm kind of curious where that's going to go. So I don't know if we'll see Ricky again. I think we will, unfortunately. We'll see. But yeah, so Jeff's like, are we really going back? And then Gene is just like, are you in or out? Are you in or out? And then, of course, Jeff wonders about the drugs himself. And we cut to the next scene. And Gene says, well, we don't cut to the next scene. Gene just says, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And they get to the address. The address is 4201, whatever street. I forget what it is. So Gene leaves what's funny is Gene walks out of the cab, slams the door, and it transitions back to Saul slamming his Cadillac door, his lawyer up vehicle. And he is actually at J.P. Wynn School, Walt's High School. And he's walking in. So this is right before he goes into Walt's classroom and says, haha, hey, I found you, And I was like, are we going to see more? I'm like, why are they showing this? Are we going to see more of this? But they just showed that particular moment. And I'm curious if this was just, he was excited. He felt the same sort of excitement at both points in time. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure why they put that in. So,
well, I'm assuming this is just going to be like him ignoring advice and pushing Walt to,
yeah, that could be too. That's true.
So,
and of course, it transitions back to Gene, and he breaks in and unlocks the door, and that's how the episode ends.
Yep.
So I'm like, uh-oh, where's this going to go? So he breaks the glass and then unlocks the door, and that's the last thing we see. And then for the next week's episode, we just see that the police are somewhere. I'm assuming they're there.
I'm assuming it's
And
the house.
they're moving towards the camera, and we don't hear any. I don't think we can't barely hear any dialogue. We just hear police radio, and well, that's it. So there's 2 episodes left, and I'm just like,
yeah, I think he's gonna get made from his thumbprint on the door.
So got a question from Juno Joker. It says, do you guys think there's any symbolism with the broken glass? We see it twice in this episode. Yeah, we see it with the phone booth when he's talking to Kim or someone like Kim, or someone connected to Kim, and then with him breaking the glass here. So maybe it's a point of no return.
Maybe it's just a symbol of him just, breaking down. I mean,
this episode's called Breaking Bad.
He's fracturing. He's just losing it. He's unhinged. He's doing things that he knows are going to draw attention to himself eventually. He knows if he keeps going that way, he's got to know he's going to get caught. And then, of course, just blatantly just instead of everything was telling him not to do what he did. He got the cancer thing. Jeffy even says, hey, he might not even be awake, or he might be awake. It's been 3 hours. We really shouldn't be doing this. And he's just disregarding everything. He's got blatant disregard for any good advice at this point. And he's just, he's just broken at this point. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that could be. I mean, he's just, you just like, we see how unhinged he is. I mean, it's just things are just not going his way. He's just not happy. And I mean, first we see of Gene for the first 5 seasons, he's paranoid. He's completely paranoid. He's worried he's going to get made. And now it's just like, what am I living for? So, and then he's reverting back to some of the worst traits that he had before, which led him into this position in the first place. So before I want to know it, I want to check the thing. So we have 31 votes. 40, it's still yes at 48%, and 52% say no. Interesting. So there you go.
Hey, good poll. Good poll.
Oh yeah. And of course, Wyatt Kern says BCS, Better Call Saul, has to be able to stand on its own. It seems they are using Breaking Bad scenes to fill the gap between pre-Breaking Bad and post. They're giving a summary of Saul's story in Breaking Bad. Yeah, kind of. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, man.
So there we have, Max Redstone says the school scene was an allegory for a supremely bad choice. Yeah. If the cops come next episode, what if the cop who arrests Gene is the fat cop that Gene kept giving Cinnabons to? And he says to Gene, if you promise to give me free Cinnabons, I'll let you go. Well, the guy was not a cop, he was security. But yeah, there you go. But maybe if he gets arrested at Cinnabon and the security guy's there with the cops, then you never know. Cinnabon is really strong with that one. So you gotta be, And you know what's funny? I might, so for the finale, I might actually get a Cinnabon and have some during the stream, even though it's terrible manners to eat during the stream. But I'm tempted to do it. But besides that, if people want to come on, make sure you have headphones, and I will rotate people in for the finale. And you guys can bring questions, and we'll probably have questions for everybody too. But yeah, so be ready for that. So if you want to join the stream, we'll do it as long as people want to, as long as people want. So it'll be, because it's a finale. This is probably the finale of the entire Breaking Bad universe. So it's going to be an event. So I want everyone to, be part of it with us too. Even though you guys already are part of it, talking to us, but you guys can join us on the stream in real time, and we'll talk. So keep that in mind.
Absolutely, it could be. Hopefully, we're celebrating an excellent cap to a great series.
Yes,
is what I'm thinking. I'm hoping, and I think we're going to be at.
Yeah, that was breaking. That episode should be called Breaking Glass. Yeah, and then Max Redstone says, "Yeah, Jimmy's going to be slipping in the prison shower." Oh no, that's gonna be terrible. Oh, but yeah, it was be sure to eat it with a fork and knife and make a lot of old guy noise. So yeah, that was pretty. That got my stomach churning when he was making those noises when he was eating the Cinnabon. I'm probably gonna feel like crap. I'm probably gonna feel like crap afterwards too. So,
oh
boy.
man.
So
yeah, maybe I'll join you. We'll see. I don't know if there's a Cinnabon around here. I'll have to check it out.
All the Cinnabons in Chicago are in the malls. Like I've never seen a Cinnabon outside the mall. I was talking to my buddy. My buddy lives in Texas, and he says that a lot of Cinnabons are actually in gas stations, kind of like Dunkin' Donuts are here. So
Yeah, I get. Yeah, well, you'll see Krispy Kreme and that type of stuff around in gas stations and stuff now. Yeah.
Yeah, Krispy Kreme's is just it's a shell of what used to be. You know, you see it in like grocery stores, but that's it. Like there's Dunkin' Donuts just kind of won that war. So not that Dunkin' Donuts really ever had any any competition. So, but yeah. So what I think is I'm not sure we're going to see Kim anymore. I mean, I don't know. I don't think her and Jimmy are ever going to reunite. I was kind of hoping that there was going to be a reuniting with them, but at this point, I'm not sure if that'll happen. I'm curious now. I mean, maybe we'll get more information in the next couple episodes, but I don't know if they're ever going to be together again.
I don't know. I was sort of leaning towards that, but since next episode is called Waterworks, I think if I don't know. I think if she's gonna be in any of them, it'll be the next one. And then maybe maybe whatever happens in the next episode with Kim sort of leads to whether he's going to just get completely off the rails and get reckless and either get put away for good or die or whatever's going to happen to him. That's I'm not sure, but it's called Waterworks. I think it's going to be something between them. Whether she's on screen or not is yet to be seen. Obviously, I hope she is. I mean, it'd be nice to get some more of that interaction. As long as it's
Do you think? Do you think they'll be together in the physically, like they'll be together in the same room, or do you think it'll just be like a phone call?
I think
a phone conversation.
I think if Jimmy gets in trouble, or if Saul gets in trouble, she'll show up in a lawyer capacity. But I mean, no, she's probably not. Obviously, she's not a practicing lawyer in whatever state he's in. So, I don't know. I think if he gets in trouble, she'll come to see him wherever he's at.
So Hardboiled predicts that we'll see her in Waterworks. She works in a sprinkler store. Okay, I didn't pick up on where she works. So if that's the case, then all right. Then if that's the case, then yes, I will watch.
Yeah, I was trying.
I'll have to rewatch it and try to get that detail down.
Yeah, I was trying to. I knew he said where it was, and I was hoping somebody picked it up. So if that's really what it is, then cool. I just wasn't sure.
And then we have Ali Salehi here. What's up? Welcome to the chat. I think this is my first time seeing you in chat. So once again, welcome. He's like, it's all gone, baby. It's all gone. Yeah, I think he mentioned the diamonds. He's like, what happened to the diamonds? Did Gene sell those for the money to put into the dirt for Francesca? I don't know. I don't know. Was that
look? It's one of those the diamonds, and who knows? Like I don't know. I think maybe they forgot them. Like, and I hate saying that, but like, or maybe Kim's got them. I don't know, because obviously Saul's or maybe they just can't get rid of them because they're hot, or like because But you think they could sell one or two? I don't know. It's a great question. It's come up every stream. Where are the diamonds?
Okay. So Henry Lemoyne thinks, do you think we'll get a Bill Burr appearance or cameo? No, I don't think we will. They pretty much, and I agree with Magic Ace here. They basically mentioned him, and they kind of closed the chapter on both him and Huel. So yeah, so we don't really know what happens to Kubi. Actually, that's what's funny. And Max Redstone says Kim works at Palm Coast Sprinklers. Okay. Wonder what she does. I'm curious what she does. Sales probably, because remember Saul was doing sales for.
I mean, why did she open a sprinkler store? I mean,
we don't know if she did or she met someone who did. So I'll have to. Hopefully, they'll elaborate more in the next episode.
Somebody said earlier that they I don't know if they're going off something they heard or it's just a theory, but that it wasn't Kim that he spoke to on the phone. It was like Kim's husband telling him to F off. And that's why I got so angry that he wouldn't let her talk to Kim or something like that, which could be an interesting angle if Kim's married and happy and he's trying to.
That's one thing I never thought of. Yeah. Did she? I never thought of that. Did she?
She's not in trouble. She's fine. She's right. I mean, she got out of the way. Just, he spiraled out of control and it seems like she's doing fine.
Yeah, and so Max Redstone actually puts up a good point. Judo Joker, I'll get to yours. I know I'll get to yours right next one. The only reason why Kim would appear would be to multiply, magnify, and amplify Jimmy's misery and sense of loss. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Well, because I mean, Kim could show up with husband and kids and explosion.
I just hope that the finale will. Because, I mean, not everybody, I mean, I know there are some people out there that didn't like the Breaking Bad finale. I liked the Breaking Bad finale because I felt it really closed Walter White's character arc. Even though he never really even though he always spouted that he did not, even though he revealed that he was in it for himself, that he didn't really do this for his family. It was secondary to him. I'm glad that he still managed to do that though, and leave money for his family. That was what made me really happy. With Saul, I'm not sure how they're going to end this. But I hope they end. I hope they end it in a way that, that's just satisfying without being too sad. Because right now, seems like they're going in a very sad, dark direction. So
yeah. And how about we're like surprised, like Kim's in Florida. Like, why Florida? Like,
I don't know.
Was it mentioned? Like,
I thought she was going to go back to Nebraska because they kept saying she's from Nebraska, and then Gene himself is in Nebraska. I was under the impression that he was trying to get close to her, but we find out that she's not there.
Yeah,
she's in Florida. So I'm like, okay.
So it's like, why? Yeah, that was it's like, oh, Florida. What the heck is she doing in Florida? And obviously he's been stalking her. So,
well, I'm guessing. So I always thought like he kind of chose to go to Nebraska. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't really have a say in where to go. It was just Edge was just like, hey, you're going to Nebraska. Well, you're going to Maine.
Well, that's sort of how it happened with Jesse. It's just like, you're going here.
Yeah.
That's it. So
okay, so Judo Joker says, I think next week will be my theorized Kim-centric episode. It will start out with the cliffhanger from today. Then we'll follow Kim from her leaving Jimmy to the phone call. I hope so. I'm really interested to see what she's been doing. Well, it's been 6 years from 2004 to 2010. So yes, I hope this is correct, because I'm even more, based on that conversation, I'm even more invested. I'm even more interested in what happens with Kim now. So, and I was surprised. I thought we'd get a little bit more than we got about Kim, but hey, I mean, 2 episodes left, so we'll see.
Yeah. Do we know the runtime on them? Are they? I'm assuming.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Not yet. We'll probably. I mean, I learned on. I think I learned on IMDb that was this episode was 57. I think this episode was 57 minutes. So that's why I didn't. That's why I was late for the stream, because I was watching it with commercials and everything. So
yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully, it's one of those. I don't know. I don't know what I want from the next episode. Kim would be like, just, I think that could be a good place to, we've got all of Gene / Saul's story up to present. It would be sort of interesting to at least get part of what happened to Kim after.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, but I don't know how you fit the last 2 cameos in there unless those are going to be the last episode with Walt and with Jesse. But
I don't know. I don't
know. It's one of those things. Look, that's what they also do a great job of this with this show is we're ending this episode and I have no idea what they're going to do on the next episode, and that's good.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Same here.
I got no idea. Like, it's one of those, they could do this, they could do that, they could do that, they could do this, and I could think of a million things, and it's
They
going to be
just
something
show a
else.
single. They just show a single shot of something, and they didn't even have dialogue. It's just like they're really keeping this tight. They're not
Yeah.
showing anything. They're not
They know-
showing anything.
We know we're going to happen post break-in, and then from there, who freaking knows?
Does Gene get cancer? It says, does Gene get cancer in prison? I doubt it. But
Monyan's is just like, Kim gets cancer. It's like, what is going on with the cancer? Come on, guys. Come on.
well, I mean, they talked about cancer. What can we say?
I know.
So Henry Lemoyne's question is: Didn't Huel and Kuby steal a small portion of Walter's big pile of money before they loaded into barrels? I don't remember. All I remember is that I think there was $80 million stacked on that pallet, or maybe there was more than one pallet. I don't remember. But they were laying on it. He's like, and then Bill Burr's like, "What are you doing? What are you being Scrooge McDuck here?" It's like, dude, you have to do this once. Just lay on the money. They're laying on it. It was a funny scene. So I don't remember if they did. I'd have to. Well, I'm rewatching the show now, so by next week I'll probably be done with Breaking Bad, so I'll be able to answer that question then. So.
If you've been through 4 seasons in 4 days, I think you'll make it.
3 seasons. I'm starting season 4. So the last episode I watched was Box Cutter. Dude, I binged Breaking Bad in 20.
Yeah. We have a frozen nerdporial. All right, let's look at some of the chats here. Let's see. Winter in Alaska's Henry Lemoyne says Winter in Alaska is probably super awesome. Yeah, you're crazy. Winter in Alaska? Really, dude? Let's see. Dying by cancer is the new Ed's the Disappear for go-to fan theory. So Judo Joker thinks everybody's going to get cancer. You're really depressing me, Judo Joker. Max Redstone says, "Egad, what if Kim dies?" I don't know about we were always talking about Kim dying at some point. I don't know that's. I guess it could still happen. That's the beauty of this show, is I guess anything could happen, but I don't know. I don't see Kim dying at this point. She may be. I mean, appearances of Kim could be completely done. We'll see. Oh my gosh, I'm by myself. We've lost Nerdporial. This is madness. All right, let's see what we got. Chat, help me out here. Jesse got to choose Alaska. Saul didn't get to choose. Someone didn't get to choose. Someone mentioned it somewhere, but Kim left Nebraska for reasons that we don't entirely know about. She wouldn't want to go back there. Well, I thought she left Nebraska because of her relationship with her mother. Wasn't that part of it? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if that's 100% correct or not, but Henry Lemoyne, I wish I could share these chats. I can't. I don't have the permissions. Sorry, guys, but I'll keep reading some of them out. Jeff kills Gene. What if Lyle kills Gene? I think that's a good one. Lyle is pretty savage and sneaky, since nobody suspects him. So what if Lyle kills Gene? That would be rad. I wonder what's up with our boy Nerdporial. We'll keep reading some of these chats. Why not? Let's. Anybody got any more chats they want to go here? There we go. Magic Ace. I thought Nerdporial. Oh shoot, he's back. Sorry, Magic Ace. I have no more power.
It was an internet. It was no. Mike told me to come up with a story. So. Internet just kind of went blip, so I had to disconnect and reconnect. So I'm like,
I just got done just basically telling everybody to go sub to me and unsub to you. So sorry, but
oh.
And we lost. Did we lose all your viewership? No,
yeah,
we're okay.
We got 40. Still got 43.
So
it's like the viewership increased after I left.
Well, go sub to me. We'll just switch it. Everybody go sub to me. We'll switch over to my channel and down with Nerdporial. No.
So what you? I didn't. So what did you say?
I just went straight into the chat. So I was just reading some of the chats. So we could leave off where we were. I don't remember what you were saying at mid. You just sort of bleeped out. So yeah, I just leaned on chat for some material. So thank you, chat. I appreciate that very much. But yeah. So that was it. Didn't I think it was him. Didn't she leave Nebraska because of her mother, or was that?
We don't know.
Or did we
don't know
that?
why. We don't know why she left Nebraska. and we don't know why she has no middle name. So we're curious if, like I said earlier, we're wondering if Kim Wexler was her actual birth name, or if she had a different name. So I mean, if we're going to find out anything about her, has to be hopefully it'll be in the next episode, because
right.
I mean, we have 2 episodes left. So come on, guys, let's get to the finish line.
We got a prediction down there.
So Korkev says next episode has 10 minutes of Lyle cleaning a deep fryer.
Best 10 minutes of any episode ever.
Well, if it is acceptable, you know.
Acceptable. If this is acceptable to you, you can go home.
The fact that color doesn't come back into James' life even when scamming shows that he's dead inside. Nothing is filling the void now. That's why he's so reckless. He's chasing a high he can't get. That's actually a very good comment, Jay Moose. That is awesome. That is a very good. That's a very good. I agree. I actually agree. I agree with this. That's a great take. Thanks a lot for sharing that.
I think that's probably dead on. It's just like he's still scamming, and maybe that's why he's pissed off at the end. Like that's why he's. I think that's a very, very good take, and probably dead on. It's just he's looking for that high from scamming people, and he's not getting it. He's getting the money, and he's not getting his fix. And at this point, he's just angry, and he's like, "Well, we're doing it anyways."
Yeah.
I think that's a very, 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 very good observation.
Yeah, I agree. Judo Joker. I mean, we all know Nerporial is Gus, the puppet head, and Steve is Lyle, the puppet man. Yeah, okay. With Lyle being the puppet master, yeah. I'm just the puppet head. You know, see, bald. You know, I got some of that mic. You know, I just need to be dead-eyed. I can't do it. I can't do Mike. But speaking of dead-eyed Mike, I got another transmission of young Mike.
Another transmission?
Yep.
Here we go.
Let's see.
I swear, if you ever show your face out there again, I won't. Ever. I won't. Ever. I won't. I promise you. Oh.
Yeah, so he knew how to handle handle weapons back in that day too.
Even as a young lass, he could a young lad. He knew how to lay down the law.
Yep. Wait, I think we have 2 more transmissions.
Oh no, You're freezing up again. There you go. You're good.
Are we
you
good?
had a weird Robert De Niro face for a second. You're like, you're good now.
I have a very low bar for some reason.
You know what? YouTube's been doing, like, my last stream, it did the exact same thing to me. Everything was fine at the house, but like I was getting like.
Now I got 2 bars. All right, so we got another one.
Are they? You got the backhand and the forehand right there.
Yep, and then the final one, and this was this
Are you
was.
going to use these for super chat thank yous in the future? Just
maybe. I probably will. I might. Yeah, I might do that.
Why not?
So, and we got one, and then there's one last transmission, and this is probably the most badass of them all.
Slapping the bass.
Yeah, do you think I'm going to show Eddie Murphy shooting Mike? No, because he's not dead. You can't kill Mike.
You can't kill Mike. Yeah, he was just faking it.
I still think that even though it fits with based on Mike's character, his death fits his character. I still wish that they would have just made his death they should have made his fate kind of ambiguous.
Yeah,
like I think he should have just vanished so that we can get another Mike show. You know.
Yeah,
Mike Ehrmantraut PI.
Yeah,
Peter Gould, make that happen. Mike Ehrmantraut PI.
I would watch it. Hell
resurrect Mike Ehrmantraut, and let's give him a twin brother. We'll call him.
See, here's the problem though. You can't do like young Mike on the beat. You know, before fighting crime and taking bribes.
They'll clone Mike. They'll find the barrel of. They'll find like remnants of his DNA from the barrel, and then they'll clone him, and they'll somehow magically make him elderly, and He will retain all of his
Well,
memories.
wait.
Just like in they'll have that robot machine from Star Trek Picard. Yeah, I'm bringing up Picard, and they're gonna somehow take his DNA, and they're gonna be able to take a bit of his soul from his DNA. He's gonna remember everything from his previous life. And he's gonna be Mike. He's gonna be Mike Ehrmantraut, PI.
Well, but see, it's gonna be on AMC, so doesn't it have to be like Mike Ehrmantraut versus zombies or something like that? Since everything is now zombies.
Oh yeah, I'm like
Ehrmantraut,
another Walking Dead show.
PI
really?
versus zombies.
Terry Crews. Mike Ehrmantraut versus zombies would be awesome. I would watch Mike just putting together a trap with no dialogue, with his dead-eyed face, and just taking out zombies left and right.
They should just make him MacGyver and be done with it.
I mean, the guy that plays that one dude that plays Trevor in GTA, he was in Walking Dead. He was one of the saviors. He was one of the saviors working for Negan. So, I mean, yeah, I could see Mike versus Mike Resurrection. Yeah, Mike.
I love it. I love it.
Peter Gould,
Mike Resurrection.
Peter Gould, Peter Gould, Tom Shaw's, Vince Gilligan, make this happen.
But it's
make this happen.
See, and you don't even have to put zombies in there because he is a zombie. Mike Resurrection is a zombie. Better call zombies.
Better call zombies.
There you go. No, see, Mike Resurrection is encapsulated perfectly because he's not even fighting zombies. He just is a zombie. So he's a zombie fighting more zombies because he's still got to protect his granddaughter.
Ehrmantraut, PI, set in Hawaii, he drives a Ferrari. What's funny was Saul in Breaking Bad when he complains to Walt about Mike threatening to break his legs. He's like, it's like Magnum PI threatening that prissy guy that he's going to break his legs. And of course, Saul was the prissy guy. Saul pretty much was the prissy guy, the prissy assistant, kind of the prissy assistant, kind of. So, but yeah, I want to see Ehrmantraut PI. I want to see him brought back to life. Bring some science fiction into it. Bring back that robot. Make Mike Ehrmantraut a robot like Picard in Picard. You know, just somehow replicate his soul and be done with it. You know, will Jonathan Banks do it? If it pays, well, why not? You know, he'll negotiate top dollar. Peter Gould, make that happen. Work with Robert Kirkman. Make that zombie robot Mike Ehrmantraut show. Let's do it. Jonathan Banks should be the villain of the Far Cry game. They've already used Mando and Giancarlo. Yeah, I saw that Giancarlo Esposito was the villain, and I think in the latest thing. Oh yeah, Jonathan Banks, dude. Like I should see Jonathan Banks in GTA, and all the stuff I'm hearing about GTA now is just like, we won't.
I saw somebody said they were messing it up, and I'm like, all right, I'm just not looking at it.
Well, no, they're going to tone down. They're going to tone down on the edgy dialogue because
why does everything have to be so milquetoast?
Well, because every corporation wants everything to be milquetoast.
Mike, maybe a RoboCop Lyle edition.
Lyle
is RoboCop. No, I think Mike is a better RoboCop. Lyle could have been the
deep fried or grill. You're coming with me. Deep fried or grilled. You're cleaning with me. I can't think of a good one.
Rotisserie or fried. You're coming with me.
You're cooking with me.
You're cooking with me.
And then Max Redstone says good night, all. Well, good night, Max. Thanks for coming by. It's cool that we have. I'll tag you in the last couple in my last couple tweets for talking about this and let you know about it. So it's cool. And of course, it says Sopranos time with mom. I would pay to see Ehrmantraut in an argument with Higgins. John Hillerman's Higgins. I'm guessing Higgins is from Magnum PI. I have not watched. I'll be honest. I've not watched.
It's been a long time. Oh no, not again. You're leaving me again. All right. So now this time for reals. Go sub to my channel. I will take your pity subs. YouTube is trying to demonetize me again. I don't know. I keep losing subs all over the place, but let's see. You're back now.
There we go.
You're back. What did you do? Did you hit your?
I didn't do anything. It's a stupid internet. It's AT&T.
You know, it's been a long time since I've I watched a little Magnum PI, but that stash, nobody can pull off a stash like Selleck.
Yeah, and welcome, B Cream. I think this is my first time seeing you on this channel. Welcome, Nerdporial Continuum. At least that's what I call us being together. They mentioned Skylar has a public defender in Granite State. Could that possibly be Oakley? I hope it's true. Yeah, Oakley, that'd be hilarious. Oakley is he's not a public defender. I think I don't know if he's a public defender or if he has his own. I think he has his own firm now. So according to because he has that ad on the bench. So there you go. And then RoboCop. Yeah. Banks was in that too, wasn't he? I don't know. Banks was not in it. It was Kurtwood Smith was Clarence Bodiger, and of course Ronnie Cox, who was also in Beverly Hills Cop, plays Dick Jones. And Dick Jones. And
sorry, Korkev is on fire with this RoboCook Lyle edition.
RoboCook Lyle edition. Deep fried or grilled. You're cooking with me.
He's just like an awesome chef, and like if somebody screws up, he chops their hand off or something. It's like
Hardboil, yes, you should have seen that. Lyle for Far Cry villain. Yes. There you go. And with the wonky controls on GTA, it would fit to have Mike be a protagonist. I'd love to. If Mike was a protagonist, it'd be. I mean, Mike's not going to. They're going to have a female. They're going to have a female protagonist this time. A female and a male protagonist. They're basing it off of Bonnie and Clyde, that type of deal. Because come on, how many times has Bonnie and Clyde been done to death? There's the classic '60s movie that everybody knows with Warren Beatty, Gene Hackman, and Faye Dunaway. But I mean, I think they've done so many.
Didn't Johnny Depp do a Bonnie and Clyde too? Or I don't know.
They've probably done so many inferior remakes of Bonnie and Clyde. They probably tried to make a TV movie. They made it's probably a TV show.
I'm sure they did.
But none of them add up to the original movie. So, but yeah, and Joe Joker says, you know what? I have to say, I'm happy for Bill Oakley. He's my second favorite character after Lyle, of course. Yeah, are you gonna have that burger, Steve? Are you gonna have those chips? You gonna have that drink? Here, here. No, yeah, you can have it. There you go. And then Henry Lemoyne says Jonathan Banks was in Airplane. Yes, he was. You know what else he was in? He was in the movie, which I just watched last week. I watched Stir Crazy, which came out the same year as Airplane. That Stir Crazy is one where Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor are dressed up as woodpeckers and they dance at a bank, but then they get framed for robbery. And because they're in Arizona, because of the robbery, they get 120 years in prison just for a robbery. And there's no proof that they did it. And so they're in prison. And Jonathan Banks is like the main inmate who is like in cahoots with the warden, the assistant warden. The assistant warden is Craig T. Nelson. Of course, if you know Craig T. Nelson, he was in the show Coach. And of course, he's even more famous as the dad in Poltergeist, which they recently announced a 4K Blu-ray, and the box art is terrible and does not represent the movie. And everybody's giving that box art shit. Like instead of showing the girl, Carol Ann watching the TV saying they're here, you just see a picture of a dude in jeans looking at a house and there's lights in the house. And they're like, what are they trying to do? Copy The Thing? Because you know how The Thing shows a figure of a guy and it's bright in the center or something. It was dumb. But you know who else was in Stir Crazy? The warden is the old man who Kim tries to get out of the house. Because so Mesa Verde is trying to get this old dude out of the house in that one property, and he won't sell. He's like, and he tells Kim, like, how do you sleep at night? Well, that guy played the warden. I didn't realize it, but he played the warden. So yeah, so there's definitely connections to Stir Crazy and Better Call Saul. So just fun facts right there. So
Crazy.
We haven't seen Ernesto. We haven't seen Omar. Yeah, we need to the Dream Team. I agree.
Did Ernesto, you
Omar, Lyle, and Bill Oakley?
Did we get your dark theory, or did I zone out and miss it?
My dark theory was that they never meet up. Kim and Jimmy never meet up. I mean, they might talk over the phone, but I don't think I was hoping that they would come back together. There'd be one last hurrah that they do together. but I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're going real dark. I don't know where it's going to end, but I think it's going to be a sad one. Which is, I mean, I think that's, unfortunately, I think that's what sort of is deserved here. Happily ever after, I don't think is really in Saul's alley here. But sorry, go ahead.
So Henry Lemoyne's like, is it just me or does Mike remind me of George Carlin? I'm assuming you're talking about young Mike from Beverly Hills Cop, or technically his name was Zach in that movie. I don't know. George Carlin looks like George Carlin. He was missed when my brother was really young. He was Mr. Conductor on Shining Time Station, and would host and narrate Thomas the Tank Engine Adventures. That was my first experience with George Carlin. My folks were always see that in distaste, and I was like, why did my folks see that in distaste? Well, I listened to his comedy. I'm like, no, now I know why. There you go. And yeah, Huell is not still in that room with the DEA. I know that was another great thing too. So, and Joe Joker agrees with me. He's like, I still think we'll get a satisfaction resolution in Kim's character. I hope so. I really do. But I don't think it's going to be a happy one with her and Jimmy. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I hope we get something, because she's just sort of, I hope the send off for Kim wasn't just we're breaking up, right? I mean, that would sort of be anticlimactic. I hope we get something from her, whether it's some sort of other closure. I mean, I don't know that felt like closure to me. I mean, I guess it could be seen as closure between those two characters, but I don't know. It feels undone, doesn't it? At least for me.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 more episodes. So chat, give us, I know some of you already did, give us your scores for this episode. I know we still don't really have a system for this, but Prophet, Steve, what do you think? What do you think is a score for based on how you feel? What do you think it was?
I'm trying to figure out how I want to scale this stuff, because I'd liked 6 or 7.
6 or 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I did the last one was 7 or 8, wasn't it? For episode 9. I didn't. It wasn't. And that's not like in any way like I just don't. I would like to use the whole scale if I'm using stuff. So if something's really bad, I don't want to give it a 5, right?
Yeah.
So 5 is like I would say 5 is like average. So it's like good enough. But you know what I mean. If I give say 5, I'm like, okay, it was all right. So I'd say 6 or 7, a little above average. It was enjoyable. It was nice seeing Walter and Jesse. Even though Jesse was looking old and beat up, but it was pretty good. It just definitely wasn't my favorite.
So it looks like we're at 49 votes now, and 41% say yes, and 59% say no.
All right, so it definitely took a turn there.
Yes, it did. So,
wow, we jumped up to 49 votes, weren't we? At like 22. That's awesome.
Yeah, we were at like 30 for a while.
That's
now
great.
we're at 49, so that's cool.
Fantastic.
But for some reason, I'm looking at my stream. It says only 29 likes. So yeah, smash the like button.
Yeah, man. How do we get more votes on the poll?
Gets more people to see and stuff. So
while you're at it, go sub to me, because YouTube keeps taking subs away. I'll beg. Who?
There you go. So let's see. So Jay Moose gives this episode a 7 point.
That's fair. Like,
so he says not one episode in this entire series has gone below 7.5. Yeah, I agree.
No, it's like I'm still trying to figure. I don't like giving a number, because it's just like I can't visualize the scale. I think 7.5 is fair. It was enjoyable. There were very good things in it. It definitely wasn't top tier for this season for me.
And we got Henry Lemoyne here, says 8 Lyles out of 10. Yep, 8 Lyles out of 10. So he's the key to all this.
What did you say? What did you rank it as, if you're giving a number?
I didn't give it a rank yet. I'll get to it. Here's a real question, in my opinion. Is Kim living a happy and fulfilling life after Jimmy? Or is she also missing something in her life now? or where is she on the scale in between? That's a good question. None of us know. Based on the conversation that we witnessed and Jimmy reacting the way he does, I'm going to have to go with she is happy. I'm going to have to go with she is happy in some capacity.
Yeah,
Is she married? Maybe. Or is she engaged? Maybe.
What makes perfect
She's moved
sense.
on. She's obviously moved on.
It makes perfect sense that that was either her husband or that was her saying, Jimmy, move the fuck on. I'm done with you. I'm happy. I'm doing something I like. Please leave me alone. I don't want to be talking to you. You're just, you're kryptonite. You're radioactive. I don't want anything to do with you.
We're poisoned together. We're poison to others together. So.
I could totally see where that just sends him over the edge. So could be anything. I think she's probably. I'm right there with you. I think she's probably happy and flourishing.
Yeah, and that's what makes this even more sad. So we'll see. And let's see. Ali Salehi says, Gene learns that this last victim has cancer, like Walt. It throws him for a loop for a minute, but he soldiers on. He urges Jeff's friend to finish the job, lies to him about how you get over it. Yeah, I mean, that's what Mike told him. It was like, you eventually get over it. You eventually stop thinking about it. I'm not sure he ever did, though. So Kim probably, like Jimmy, she probably despises Saul. What's funny is she helped create Saul. That's the funny thing. She helped create Saul, especially in these the first half of the season.
She
giving him ideas and everything.
She actually Saul does a lot of the stuff that he does because of Kim.
Yeah. Like she even tells him to be a friend of the cartel. Yeah. Like, are you going to be a friend? Or are you going to be a rat?
This whole cartel thing is partially because of her, because he's like, I don't want to get in this. She's like, well, maybe you should. Basically. I mean, I don't know if she exactly says that, but they're like you said, do you want to be a friend of the cartel or you want to be a rat?
There you go. Like, well, the Magic Ace gives this episode 6.5 liles for me. Okay. Yeah, like this was another episode. I was hoping there would be a little bit more substance, especially since we're getting very close to the end. We're only 2 episodes. There's only 2 episodes left. So I'm just like, come on, where is this going? Where's this ultimately going to go?
Yeah. I like a 6-7 just because then when we get the really good ones, like boom, 9, 10, right? It gives those more emphasis. So I'm right there with you, Magic Ace.
We got Hardboil says she is either happy or in desperate trouble, or he never managed to reach her. Yeah, we'll find out. Because I'm curious what was said. Now the question here for the chat: do you guys think that they'll re-show that scene and we'll hear what is said, or do you think they're going to just leave it ambiguous like that?
I'm sorry, what would you say?
I said, do you think they will re-show that scene, but this time we will hear what they say? Or do you think they're
that'd be awesome.
They're going to leave it ambiguous?
That would be fantastic. I think that'd be a fantastic way to do it. You sort of show what happens to Gene at the beginning, or not even maybe the beginning. Maybe we don't find out what happened to Gene till midway through the episode. But you start with just like, him on the phone, and then you transition to it being her or whoever's on the other side, and then it being her, right? And then you get to see, and it would be interesting if they transition from Gene to her, if like she's in color because she's doing well or something.
That would be a very interesting thing. That's interesting. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Judo Joker says, if Kim is living a happy life, it would be very reminiscent of Jimmy's reaction to Howard overcoming his depression. It's ironic Jimmy tells everyone you get over it because he never gets over his pain. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's very because of Jimmy's reaction to Howard Yeah, exactly. And we have Wyatt Landis here. I think this is the first time I've seen you chat on here. So welcome.
Welcome.
He says thoughts on the teaser for episode 12. Oh, it doesn't look good for Jimmy. It doesn't look good for him at all. That's all I'm going to say. We see police there. I'm curious what's going to happen.
Big trouble brewing for Jimmy. Probably. I don't know if he's going to, I mean, there's 2 options: to go into jail or he's on the run again. Gene is burned.
Yeah.
So.
And we got another chat from Jim Crump. First time here. Welcome. Gene found out that Kim had died on the phone call. Next episode, Waterworks. That could be.
That's
doubt
another
it.
dark one. I mean, that'd be crazy though. Why
That's a
not?
dark
Like,
theory, but
it could be. Like, who knows, right? We have no idea.
yeah,
That would definitely be a twist.
That would be a horrible. That would be. I don't know. Fans would get pissed off if that happens. That's what I think would happen.
I don't know that would be swallowed too well. Yeah.
No, it wouldn't.
Just her being killed off screen. I don't know.
Yeah. Unless they reveal and they we'll see Judo Joker's Kim centric episode and how it leads up to that.
Yeah, maybe if that happens, but I feel like that's just that doesn't seem very like him. That seems very lazy. Just like, okay, we can wrap Kim up now. She's dead.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't pay. It doesn't quite pay off, but we'll see.
It could be. What's all the cancer talk? Jesus.
Oh, come on. Okay, Ali says, by the way, Tom Schnauz leaked that we will hear what words were spoken between him and Kim before Gene slammed the phone.
Good.
Oh, really? Okay,
that'd be
good.
great.
I do want to hear that.
Great. That'd be awesome.
And of course, Judo Joker says, I think we're going to see it next episode. We'll see a flashback of Kim leaving Nebraska. Then we see her journey from Kim leaving Jimmy to her phone call with Jimmy. Well, my official judo prediction. Well,
if Ollie is Ollie Soleil, if that's true, I think we're definitely going to get a Kim centric episode. If we get to hear that, it would only make sense that we're going to transition to Kim somewhere and see what's going on with her.
Yep, and this is all Judo Joker. So Judo Joker, yep. Well, yep, we're riding on your theory right now for next week. So let's keep that in mind. And Magic Ace says, good night, gentlemen. Well, good night. Good night to you, sir.
Thank you for coming.
So other than that, but for me, I really loved the beginning of the episode, especially the first couple of scenes. I loved the Francesca part, her being on the phone with Jimmy, and then just bringing the rest of us up to speed on what happened to everybody after Breaking Bad. I did like, I mean, I'll be honest. I was like another scam, really. I just wanted to get some stuff on Kim. I wanted to what we were waiting for, what we were waiting to find out, like what was Kim doing. I was hoping we get more of that. I was hoping we get, more context to why they brought, Walt and Jesse back. I was hoping to get more, Better Call Saul scenes. So I love the Better Call Saul scenes. I love I love the Breaking Bad era scenes. The one where Saul's in the RV before and after that, famous scene and the Better Call Saul episode of Breaking Bad, like that. And I'm not sure when the Mike thing. So the Mike thing must have taken place right after that. So right before, that must have taken place. That scene must have taken place right before he went to the school, and then we see the clip of him going into the school. So I like seeing all that. The Gene stuff. I mean, I thought we were done with Jeff. To be honest, I was surprised.
Yeah.
I thought we were done with Jeff, and I thought that was the single appearance we were going to give Carol Burnett as Marion. But apparently, I'm guessing Jeff and Carol Burnett are going to be. They're probably going to make a deal with the police and. Saul's going to go, or Gene / Jimmy, James Morgan McGill's going to go down.
Yeah, we're probably getting more. Yeah, I think we got more Jeff and Marion than we bargained for. It's sort of interesting.
It was cute seeing Marion, Jeff, Carol Burnett, seeing being she's like she's 89 years old and she's looking at cat videos and enjoying cat videos. That was very cute. But I don't know. I mean. With this whole cancer guy, we'll see where that goes. So I think, I agree with the chat. I think Gene is unhinged. He's not happy. He's still black. Everything is black and white. He's dead He's dead inside. And I agree.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So this is, I feel kind of bad. What's weird is I feel kind of melancholy. I feel kind of bad because I think it's not going to be a happy ending. And I mean, was Breaking Bad a happy ending? No, but I was happy with the ending. I was happy that Walt still managed to get money for his family, even though that wasn't his driving motivation. But I'm still glad he did it. So I would have been pissed if he didn't. So, But let's read a couple. Let's read the last two chats, and then we're gonna end the stream. We've been almost 3 hours. Been talking
Yeah, I
about
know.
this
It's
for
been
3
going a
hours.
while.
Obviously.
Good Lord.
So Henry Lemoyne says one of my favorite lines is when Mike says current whereabouts, and Saul says current whereabouts. What am I, an 8th grade hall monitor? Yeah, when he's asking about where Walt and Jesse are, I believe that was in Breaking Bad. I believe right before,
Yeah,
right like late season 3. When right after they killed right after Walt killed those 2 drug dealers because they murdered that kid Tomas. So,
Yeah.
Dude, that was
messed up.
That was effed up.
It was very
And Judo Joker's like, I got a fun game. Everyone give their worst theory, aka a joke theory that would be very lame and cheesy. Well, every Lyle theory.
Well, here you go. Saul is angry on the phone because Lyle picks up on the other side and says that he's married to Kim, and they opened a sprinkler store. There you go.
Where?
That Lyle is married to Kim, and
where is that?
They opened a sprinkler store in Florida. His new love, sprinklers instead of fryers.
Oh. Okay, where's that chat?
No, I just made it up.
You made it up.
That's
okay.
my stupid theory.
Oh, that was your theory. Oh, okay.
That's my stupid theory.
Let's see. Joke theory that would be very lame and cheesy. Well, I mean, I already came up with my Ehrmantraut, my Ehrmantraut theory. He's going to come back to life as a robot or a zombie or as a clone of himself, and he's going to be a PI. It's gonna cross over with the Walking Dead universe because AMC just cannot get enough zombies, cannot get enough out of Walking Dead to the point where they're milking it to the point where, I mean, I stopped watching it. Yeah, I stopped watching the main show. So, but I watch Mike Ehrmantraut.
Hell yeah,
hunt zombies and I don't know, bad people, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But the writers are just so bad, they would not do Mike justice.
No.
Like Mike needs like top tier writers to write Mike to write Jonathan Banks.
Agreed, 100%.
And then Jim Crump says Slippin' Jimmy slips on cancer guy's kitchen floor, hits his head on the counter and dies. Kind of like Chuck, how Chuck hits the counter. Howard hits the counter when he gets shot in the head. He literally hits the counter before falling to the floor.
It just ends. It's just over. It's like done. It's like, oh my gosh.
And then his Judo Joker's worst theory is Gene turns himself in, then Marion and Kim show up in court to testify on his behalf. And the court is so moved that they let him go and he lives happily ever after. Ends on a Lyle cliffhanger.
That'd be terrible.
we see Lyle. He winks at the camera. We see Lyle outside the courthouse. He winks at the camera, and that is confirmation that he was behind everything.
There you go. Yeah.
But like, if you ever seen stories like I read a manga where like the villain survives and he just the last frame of the manga is him looking at he looks at the audience and he winks because what they did in this manga was they gave the villain a twin brother, and so the twin brothers in the final fight and they're fighting and they shoot one of them. And we think the guy shot the villain, but he actually shot the twin. And so when it ends, we kind of like Alien Covenant did the same thing with David and Walter, Michael Fassbender's android character.
Right.
Whenever you have twins and you have to do that shit, people see that. People like when they get into a fight and you think the bad one's dead, but no, actually the good one's dead.
Like,
people see that from miles away.
I'm the evil one. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, the manga is called MW, pronounced Mu. So it's called MW. It's by Osamu Tezuka. It came out in the 70s. So there you go. That's it's a fucked up. It's a fucked up manga. It's a fucked up manga.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we're getting so many things. Lyle and Price team up with Jeff and kill Gene, and then all three of them get into Price's Hummer and go to a strip club to celebrate. Bling and of course his Hummer is like Jesse's captain the captain vehicle where it's got the hydraulics.
Was it
bouncing.
Captain? Oh my gosh, why can't I remember? Captain. It's something to do with.
I forget.
He's spicy. Like you make
Captain Cook. I don't even know.
I don't remember. Is that it? Captain Cook might be it.
the next 2 episodes are just deleting Breaking Bad scenes with noticeably aged Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston wearing to bring a bald cap. Yeah, probably.
I like Wyatt Landis's.
You will eat skin. Lay off, I'm starving.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Chris Farley. And we got Louis Berry here.
Yeah.
This great episode. Love seeing Brian and Aaron back through, though Aaron looking older than in Breaking Bad flashback, like Fats on El Camino. I can forgive it. Yeah, there you go. And he says Gene will pass the bar, prompting Chuck's ghost to come back and question.
He just becomes a lawyer again.
Yeah, that's how they're going to bring back Michael McKean. He's going to come back as a Force ghost. He's going to be all blue, and he's going to be appearing. He's going to be appearing to. He's going to be appearing to Jimmy, saying,
"Cut this shit out, Jimmy."
He's like, "You're not a real." He's like, "You're not a real. You are not a real lawyer, Jimmy."
Cut it
you will
out.
go to. You will go to the. You will go to. You will leave the bar, and there you will be disbarred by Yoda. The head of the Nebraska bar, who has instructed me. I don't know. Empire. I don't know. So yeah. So there you go.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Lyle stuff never gets old. I agree.
Yep.
And yeah, so we'll say it's time. So yeah, I thought I give this episode. I enjoyed it. I'd give this an 8 out of 10. 8.2 out of 10. I really liked it. I thought the scheme stuff, I was just kind of like really more scheme. I wanted a little bit more closure, but we have 2 more episodes, so we'll see where that goes.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me, but that's where I'm at. So
right on.
Once again, everybody, take care. And I think Saul the Dragon, don't you have a channel? Don't you do YouTube?
Yeah. Sub to my diminishing channel by the minute. No, it's not that bad. But if Prophet of the Dragon, please, if you pity me a little bit, go. Well, not pity me. Enjoy some cool content every once in a while on live streams when we have some fun over at Prophet of the Dragon. And yeah, I appreciate all of you. These are always a lot of fun, and it's nice to have these discussions and theorize about this stuff. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And I know Reportial does too.
All right. Thanks.
Who should play Jesse Pinkman in high school? Before we
I don't know.
Young actors. Brad Pitt.
Maybe the guy that plays Eminem Sauron guy from Rings of Power. Maybe he should play Jesse Pinkman.
Oh my gosh. Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard. Wolfhard looks nothing like him.
I don't know any young actors. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Chris Pine. No.
Chris Pine's older than me.
I know.
Chris Pine's you, I think.
I don't know any young up and coming actors. I wish I would love to give a straight answer, but I can't think of anybody.
All right. Well, I think, Steve, I think you have something to say to Henry.
Thank you, Henry. You're the best. Thank you so much. I will take any pity subs that you guys are willing to offer. Thank you, guys. Well, I'll be covering some different stuff here soon, hopefully. So branching out from Wheel of Time. I would like to get off. That is my bread and butter, but I'd like to spread it out a little bit.
And we got one last question. This is before you leave. Better than Nippy? Yeah.
I think so. Just because
I
think so. I don't know what I said, but I think so. Especially after talking to everybody about it, I think better than Nippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nippy just like.
I wish I could. I really wish I could answer the Jesse Pinkman question. I'm not trying to be. I can't think of anybody young actors right now that could fit the bill, which is sort of sad in itself. But I can't pull anybody from my head that is a young up and coming actor that would fit for Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right. Well, thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
And for me, I'm going to be covering the last 2 episodes here. The finale, which is going to be in 2 weeks. I'm going to have people. I'm going to be rotating people onto the stream with us. So it's going to be me and Steve and a third person. So if you have any questions to bring, we're going to have some questions. We're each going to have our own questions for each and every one of you. We're going to rotate you out. We're going to give you roughly 5-6 minutes each, and we'll do this as long as people want to be on stream. So make sure you have headphones. Make sure you have a mic or a means to talk to us. If you use your phones, that's fine. I don't care. Just as long as we can hear you and we can understand you. So, but yeah, we want to hear you guys in the flesh and want to let's try it, because we're all going to all have ideas and we're all going to have opinions on what we think of the finale. And this finale is going to be, once again, a freaking event. Like, this is not just the end of Better Call Saul. This is the end of
an era.
Gilligan. This is going to be the end of the era. We don't know if there's going to be any more shows that take place in this universe. So I really enjoyed this. Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad are two of the best character studies I've ever seen on television. I know some people might say The Sopranos is even better. So be it. But I think Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad are two of the best character studies ever. And anyone that says otherwise is an idiot. Like, this is just stuff that makes you want to theorize. There's so many things like that. They don't tell you everything. The creators don't tell you everything. You kind of wonder, why do they act? Why do the characters do this? Why does Walt, when he hears that he's going to get better, why does he punch the napkin holder in the bathroom? Why does he get pissed off? Why did Jimmy break the glass in the thing? It's all that type of stuff that makes you want to learn more about these characters, and that's what makes them interesting.
Yep.
And plus, they're cool and they're bad. They're bad and they're cool. Why not? And they're likable. What's funny is, even though they're bad, they're still likable.
Yes, exactly.
And we want to, like, they're not insufferable. They're still humans, and there's some ways we can still relate to them. And that's why
they do a very great job of making you like the bad guys.
All right. So look who's here. We got a member. We have a film member, Punk Waddles, here. He says, I've only seen season 1 of Breaking Bad, but I'm still awake, so I'm dropping in. Well, thanks for dropping in. Season 1 ends with Tuco Salamanca beating the shit out of somebody. I'm surprised you haven't watched season 2, because season 2, the first 2 episodes of season 2 were originally supposed to be season 1 because of the 2008 writer's strike. So season 2, every season it gets better. You should watch it. It's on Netflix. Just watch the whole show. I easily binged it. So there you go. And he says hello to you too. So there you go.
Hello, sir.
The Kim and Gus prequel films also. We'll see. They call him Generalissimo Gus. So we kind of wonder if he was a general in the Chile army prior to Pinochet taking over. So we'll see. We'll see about that. So, but he kills. He beats the crap out of No-Dos. I remember that. That was a weird way to end the season, but there you go. They redid that whole scene, or I don't know if they redid the scene or they just showed it again in the beginning of season 2, and he dies. So No-Dos, we didn't know if he died. We just see him getting beat the crap out of. But in the beginning of season 2, he's dead because of that. So it's just ridiculous. But for me, so Better Call Saul until it's done. This week will be the finale of the Orville New Horizons, so I will be doing the similar thing. I'm going to be, I'm going to have my usual co-panelists. I'm going to have one guest, and then I'm going to bring on whoever is on the stream and wants to come and talk about the season finale. So that's it. That's another thing. I do want to do a Lord of the Rings stream of Return of the King eventually before the Rings of Power comes out. So that's another thing. The next big stream, the next big show after Better Call Saul ends will be House of the Dragon. So me and Steve and another guy, Salty Texas Seed, the three of us are going to be talking about. We're going to be doing after shows for that. So be aware of that. And I am currently recording audio for I finished writing my Ocarina of Time retrospective. Nice. It's going to be 3 parts. So it's going to add up to over 3 hours long. So nice. And of course, each part is going to represent, because it's 3 parts, it's going to represent each part of the Triforce. So that's courage, awesome. Power, and
very good.
Part 1 is courage, part 2 is power, and then part 3 is wisdom. Because part 3, I will be talking about my takes on how I like the reason why I liked Ocarina of Time, and that'll be the wisdom part.
You're ending with Zelda. I'm kidding. It's all about the Triforce of Courage, man. Come on.
Triforce of Courage represents the initial stage, the courage of me to implement or begin this massive retrospective.
No,
So
I like it. No, it's very good.
there you go.
Very, 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 very cool.
So
Looking
that's
forward to it.
so that's my big project. There's gonna be 3 videos, and I'm gonna combine all 3 eventually to a single video with intermissions, because epic films, epic retrospectives need an intermission. There you go. So that's my project, and after that, Planet of the Apes retrospective. Then I'm going to do a layman's guide to Breaking Bad. Yep, that's part of the reason why I'm rewatching Breaking Bad, because I'm going to do a layman's guide to Breaking Bad, like I did a layman's guide to Better Call Saul. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on my channel. And then, of course, 2001: A Space Odyssey retrospective and a Metroid retrospective for the very first mission.
Nice.
The very first Metroid, NES, and Zero Mission. So I'm going to be talking about those 2 games, and that's going to be those are the next videos I'm going to be doing. And then after that, I don't know. I didn't plan after that. So there's infinite projects to do. That's what I like about this. So will I be doing this forever? Probably. So, but yeah, if you haven't checked those out, check those out. They're all on my channel. There you go. So that's where I'm at. And once again, everybody, it's going to be in 30 seconds. It's going to be 3 hours. And before we even do anything further, I want to see. So we got 55 votes.
Okay, the poll. Wow, the poll got up there.
62%.
Ooh, wow. No took off pretty quick.
Yep.
All right, we'll see.
So we don't believe it's going to be.
All right, well.
So,
I mean, I'm sort of that poll sort of took off. How what's the likes? 34. Man, that's crazy. You got 55 votes and 30. How many bot accounts did the poll?
I don't know.
I doubt it. We
only 34 likes. Wow, I guess not everybody liked the stream.
Yeah.
We
had no. You know how that is. It was awesome. We had a great stream. I was glad it went really good. So I'm glad everybody came out.
But yeah, point and shoot is the best part too. Yeah, I agree. I like point and shoot. That was that was a very Breaking Bad-esque episode. Like I was like on the edge of my seat the whole episode. It was a roller coaster ride. So there you go. And yeah, listen to Punk While. Check out those Nerdporial retrospectives.
Yeah.
And don't forget to retro bash the like button. Yep. There you go. There you go. So other than that, we passed 3 hours. So once again, everybody, thank you so much for watching. And because if you're late, I'm going to show the opening again. So everybody, take care. Have a good night. May the wings carry you. May the wings and Nerdporials carry you to the next after show of Better Call Saul.
I had a good job until my boss accused me of stealing. I better call Saul.
I was out partying, minding my own business.
You are under arrest.
I'd better call Saul.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do, and so do I. I believe that until proven guilty, every man, woman, and child in this country is innocent. And that's why I fight for you, Albuquerque. Better call Saul.
How about we get him a real attorney? Man, what the hell is this? This is who he hires?
What? Are you kidding me? This is the guy you want. Dudes like Houdini. Seriously, when the going gets tough, you don't want a criminal lawyer, right? You want a criminal lawyer.
I need you to pick up that bag and get it to me as soon as possible.
You know how thick the crap storm is out there because of this? I told you not to use that lawyer. He's a hack.
Shut up, Saul, and get the bag.
Starship Enterprise had a self-destruct button. I'm just saying.
Christ. Some people are immune to good advice.
Don't drink and drive, but if you do, call me.